Hey, guys, it's me, Pete the Job Guy. You know you listen to my show every weekend. But listen, if you need staffing assistance of any kind, you call the good folks at Ascendo Resources. My co-host, Angie Langlois, and I'm Pete Langlois, or Pete the Job Guy. Just reach out to me, Pete at PeteTheJobGuy.com, and I can guarantee you there hasn't been a qualified candidate genocide. We know where they're at, and we can fill your open jobs. Ha ha!
More than 80 million Americans depend on AM radio for their news, weather, sports, and a community connection. It's the backbone of the emergency alert system. It's critical that we keep AM radio in cars, because when cell and internet services are down, this free emergency service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress we need AM radio in cars.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Come on, admit it. You know you want a new Toyota, and in Jacksonville, that means you've got to go to the one and only family-owned and operated dealer for nearly 50 years, Arlington Toyota. Arlington Toyota has over 400 new Toyotas available. Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, Tacomas, they're all at Arlington, and you should be too. And at Arlington Toyota, your new Toyota purchase comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty, unlimited time, and miles. Why wait? Shop in person and online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Sell your home fast and stress-free this fall with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry, so you can sell your home stress-free, make the most money, and move when you're ready. One of our clients, AD, said, Mark Spain Real Estate's knowledge of the market and strategy made selling my home simple. I've already recommended them to two of my good friends. And when I'm looking to sell again, I will call Mark Spain Real Estate. Don't worry about the hassle of constant cleaning and making costly repairs. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. I've been in business for nearly 30 years and have served over 50,000 satisfied clients. And I know what matters most: a quick sale and maximum profit. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There's no obligation. Sell your home fast with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Certain restrictions apply.
Hi, folks. Terry Norvell here, inviting you to join me and my broadcast partner, Patrick Young, weekdays at high noon for the Young and Norvell Show. Lunch is on you, the most compelling sports talk in the area. Well, that's on us. The Young and Norvell Show, weekdays at noon on ESPN 690.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau. Check out Action Sports Jacks weekdays from 3 until 6 on ESPN 690.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Colorado football coach Deion Sanders today condemned the death threats against Colorado State defensive back Henry Blackburn for his illegal hit that sent Buffalo's two-way star Travis Hunter to the hospital. Sanders said that Blackburn was just playing the game of football, should not be receiving death threats. He's a kid. Hunter's out at least for Saturday's game against 10th-ranked Oregon with a lacerated liver. In the wake of the season-ending injury to All-Pro running back Nick Chubb, Jerome Ford is now the Browns' featured running back. Without Chubb, Cleveland's $230 million quarterback, Deshaun Watson, needs to step up, advises ESPN's Herm Edwards.
He's your guy. You're going to have to open it up some, spread him out, let him run some RPOs, let him, create some with his legs, get the ball, obviously, to People Jones, throw the ball with him a little bit more than you would run it. You still have Ford, but I think it has to go through the quarterback now. That's why you brought him there.
Giants running back Saquon Barkley with a sprained ankle will be a game-time decision at San Francisco Thursday night, according to coach Brian Daboll.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, Rob Saleh continues to back Zach Wilson, but I'll tell you why he better move on or else they'll both be gone. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! Ow! It really hit me.
Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kuhrts. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. What is going on? Are we over it? 24-hour rule done? Are you part of the 24-hour rule?
No, and the Jets rule is all season long, so I wouldn't worry about
it. 24-hour rule would be should be enforced for everybody, not just
You
like
think
football
so?
players.
I think there's value into harboring feelings
Do you really?
and negativity for the long haul.
What is that value?
Yeah, the value is motivation.
Casey's been doing that since he stepped foot on this show.
Like me and Casey have built-in shoulder pads for this chip we carry around, right, Case?
Amen. Big old chip.
That's right.
Right up here.
Shout out to the big old chip in the Kurtz house, by the way.
It's a good one. That was well done.
Another
Right.
chip. Nice. Hey, you must be excited. You see that new stadium?
I'm not excited.
Oh.
Why are we excited about a new stadium? We got good renderings. Tampa 2028. Here we come.
pyramid and everything.
Better than that stupid Tropicana field.
I'll say, first of all, watch your mouth. Second of all, I will save my excitement until they actually like shovel in the ground.
So what is the is it all approved and ready, or is this just another proposal?
Nah, they say it's good.
Okay, so they're done. So they're not going anywhere.
That's what they be saying.
20. I mean, it's kind of like a Jags timeline, right? Would they start construction like 26?
Something like that. Maybe them and the Jags can play at the same place while they're waiting for their stadiums to be made.
That's an interesting thought.
I know. It's because I came up with it.
Not that interesting.
Okay. All right.
I said something today that made Aaron bounce back with, is bullfighting a sport? And I was actually not in the right frame of mind to like think about what he meant by that. I was like, why is he asking this? And then it hit me like 10 seconds later. That's why he's asking this. He's answering my question.
Answering your question.
So we're doing some show ideas. And one of my thoughts is the running back position the most dangerous job in sports?
I mean, it certainly seems that way, doesn't it?
And obviously, it's at least up for consideration if bullfighting was your next response.
Yeah. I asked if bullfighting was a sport because that seems dangerous too. Although you don't see bullfighters get injured as much as you see running backs get injured these days.
I was going to say, like, you really started to make, all of a sudden I'm thinking of this now. I'm like, all right. But running backs on every play might get hurt.
That's true.
Like, or do get hurt.
But
they're getting contact on every play. Like a bullfighter, at least that I see, like they're not getting hit on every play, and there's not as many numerous a number of plays.
Yeah, it's not even close on a lot of it, especially if you got that red drape you're swinging around. It's almost like you're cheating with that thing. Be a man. Get in there with the bull. No drape.
No.
Don't even wear that silly hat. Just get in there in a T-shirt and jorts. Do your thing.
What about like surfing?
Doesn't seem that dangerous, although I'm sure it can be.
You ain't seen people get bitten by a shark?
That's not a regular occurrence during surfing, but okay.
You ain't seen the people drowning? Like, what are we talking? That's dangerous.
I was thinking more about something like a street luge. You ever see these guys that kind of lay down on a longboard?
Yes.
And then they go like downhill on some like highway road?
What about like racing?
Like car racing?
Yeah, like there's
Seems
all
pretty dangerous.
I mean, NASCAR is dangerous, but they've done a lot of safety, whatever. But there's all kinds of leagues of racing, like
the Jacksonville Axemen out here thinking we're disrespecting them right now, not mentioning rugby as well.
You guys are going so far outside the box. So answer my damn question: is running back position the most dangerous in sports?
Only if white water rafting isn't a sport.
Okay, how about in the four major sports?
Yeah, totally.
Or at least like we can consider tennis and golf and others too, but in the mainstream sports.
Ooh, now being the line judge in a tennis match that had John McEnroe might be a little more dangerous than
I don't know, bro. I be seeing people in hockey breaking their jaw and still playing.
Yeah, they do wear
well, then it ain't
teethless
dangerous
smiles
enough
as like
because I guess what? Nick Chubb ain't playing for the next year. So
MMA is a pretty dangerous sport.
MMA, yep.
It's another one, but even Austin and others will tell you, like, I mean, it's a one blow usually that does it.
Bare knuckle. That'd be killing people.
I don't think they really hurt each
there are more
other
people that got taken to the hospital and heat exhaustion at Everbank Stadium on Sunday than from the bare knuckle fighting a couple of Friday nights ago.
Like, I don't think it's hard to find things that can be more dangerous, but find a sport where people get hurt at this frequency. I don't see
Again,
it.
basketball, nobody's getting hurt at this rate.
Not like
Hockey is a dangerous sport, but from a positional standpoint, it's not like the goalie gets hurt more than everybody else or whatever. Baseball, really, argument is probably baseball and an arm, right? Pitcher.
Or a catcher in general.
Well, it's not dangerous.
Just oft injured.
It's, often injured.
Yeah, maybe I'm phrasing it, kind of mixing up semantics a little bit there, but dangerous to the health of your body, right? I mean, the health of a pitcher is certainly, every one of them now can hardly make it through a year.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that is actually more significant. I know it's not as violent on every play, but it's more significant potentially. I mean, the one thing about a football player is you are wearing protection.
It doesn't seem to help much on the lower extremities, though.
But so you get my point of it, guys. It's not just Nick Chubb, but go down the list. I mean, it was Saquon Barkley this past week. It's been
Dobbins
Jonathan Taylor
on.
to start. It's Dobbins. It's you name it. I mean, we got big names. In many respects, this is the year of the running back. And not in a good way.
Yeah, a lot of focus.
They were the focus of the offseason in terms of the contracts, from who was getting franchise tag, how much they're getting franchised, to now they are becoming the focus of early in the NFL season where nobody can stay healthy, and they are still some of the biggest stars in the game. And it was just yesterday, right, that the NFL filed a grievance for feigning injuries, as they say?
Yeah, technically they filed it September 11th, but basically they filed a grievance against the players' union for that Zoom call where they allege the union and representatives of the union suggested to players the only way to create leverage would be to either exaggerate or fake injuries to create some negotiating power.
Yeah, and I mean, it is definitely the year of the running back in that sense. They are the topic of discussion, and I really don't know if they have a win here. Like, I'm trying to find their victory.
You mean a probable one or a solution that works?
Probably that is two different things, but
because I could think of 2 or 3 solutions that work, but probable, I don't see it.
What's the solution that works?
Well, number one, you remove the franchise tag, even if it's just for running backs. No more franchise tag. Can't tag a guy. You lower the contract, so instead of 5 years, it's 3 years. You allow these guys to get the second contract when they're still in their quote-unquote prime between the ages of 23 and 27. You allow them to get at least a second contract, and then they can make some cash on the deal and then give their bodies up to the sport. That would be my first solution. Number 2 would be pay these guys based on performance after the fact. So incentivize these contracts, give them the base where the owners feel they're protected against injury or, a lack of performance. But at the end of the season, if they're hitting these numbers, the franchise needs them to hit. You got to pay these guys on the back end on it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like you said, probable, like what is the possibility? I like some of the logic that you bring up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to rephrase or just take a different angle to what I was saying about the dangerous part of it for running backs. When you're playing football in the backyard now, everybody wants to be a quarterback. But back in the day, not really that far ago.
Like the Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith days.
People wanted to be the running back. You know why? Because they ran a lot. So the running back got the ball in his hands a lot.
30 times a game.
So you name it. From Eric Dickerson to the Barry Sanders to
Jerome Bettis,
the list goes on and on.
I wanted to be a left tackle.
Nobody said that. And even the left tackles wanted to be tight ends and running backs and quarterbacks, and they all have said that at one time or another, it feels like. But I think now it might be the worst job in pro sports. Everybody in pro sports gets paid pretty handsomely. I'll take it to a different level. Give me the worst job in pro sports from a positional standpoint. You're talking. I'm not talking about the equipment manager or whatever. Okay,
it'd be like offensive lineman laundry duties. Got to be rough.
Yeah, I'm talking. Is there a worse one going right now in
middle
sports?
relief pitcher?
Why you get a ton of money? You get 3 outs, dude. You get paid like way more than you're worth.
Yeah,
probably.
You barely play every game. If that
I didn't say high leverage. I said middle relief pitcher.
I'm just saying it's a pretty decent gig if you could sit and watch games 3 out of 5 days a week. You're not really working.
I mean, that's where we're at with the running back. The fact that we even bring that question up, and I don't think I'm out of bounds bringing this up. I think those are questions. It is a dangerous position. I think we're watching it unfold. I think we knew it already. You got hit on every play, so you're taking wear and tear every play. I mean, there's collisions on every play on 2 positions basically in the NFL. I mean, like collisions with a head start, linebacker and running back. The other guys are so close to each other, right? And then the second, in terms of the trenches, the defensive backs and things, well, it's not every play. You're not making contact on every play. These are 2 positions that often on every play are getting the brunt of contact, which has become a big concern safety-wise. Well, I mean, that Chubb play, when it was run, Just looked like a running play. Like, there was nothing out of the ordinary. I had no idea he was hurt until they started to put the focus on him being hurt, and then you really saw what happened.
Yeah.
And it was gross.
Yeah.
But even in that play, you kind of wonder how it doesn't happen more often. A leg just goes the other way on you because you're getting hit hard. It's a car accident on every play.
Yeah, not only are you getting hit hard, you're getting hit hard while you're trying to pivot or turn or juke or literally stop forward momentum for a 200-plus pound man on a dime as you're getting hit in the other direction. It's wild that these injuries don't happen every day.
And then you add to it, give it like a James Robinson situation. The guy goes and balls out for a year and a half. I think it was about a year and a half. Was it 2 years? It was about a year and a half, then he got hurt, right?
It was about a year and a half, sure.
Yeah.
Then he got benched.
As somebody who came into the league with, just not heralded at all, hoping to make a roster. And he's really about leaving the league because now he's just bouncing around to a team as a workout guy and then usually not making it. And he's never going to get paid. Like, he missed the window to get paid, even though bringing back contractual stuff, like, he should have been rewarded more handsomely for that year and a half. And he probably was with bonuses. He got more money than you probably think he did, but never the actual contract that was probably earned over a year and a half time at that position because you could move on to the next player. It's a non-forgiving position. And there are other positions like that in sports, but not to the tune of really robbing you the ability to make as much money as you could in the James Robinson situation because of contract and how he got into the league and everything else. And injury, because he did go tear his Achilles. And after that, he really hasn't been the same guy. He's had knee injury as well that seemingly has been nagging enough to not let him play at the highest of levels that he was at one time with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I just feel like it's more likely the position almost goes pseudo-extinct, where you have more talented athletes who would maybe previously be lured towards a running back position, be a smaller receiver or a defensive back or something like that. And then running backs turn into what we're seeing a lot with on the Jaguars. He's pass out to the flat instead of running up the gut or running right into the line or trying to find holes. Suddenly the offense is passing 75, 80% of the time as we move on. It's a quarterback league. Quarterbacks have the advantage based on the rules of contact. It almost makes sense for the position to go away organically.
Well, we thought it was when everybody was passing more, but then in recent years, it's still a very vital position. It's important to balance things out, as we know. There was actually this rebirth over the last few years of the running back position.
It's very cyclical, right? Like you kind of ebb and flow. You go to the Wildcat for a few years, and suddenly everyone's doing it. Then suddenly everyone knows how to defend it. So you go back to something. Fullbacks are now making a return on some teams. Like, I really do think it's cyclical in that respect, where when everyone's doing it, it's hard to pull off. And then when no one's doing it and you're the people doing it, it's hard to defend. And then the copycat league kind of takes over in that sense.
There's so many tentacles to the running back spot right now because of what you could earn, what they are earning, not where other people are, the health and wellness of that position to begin with, the length of time that position plays versus everybody else in the National Football League. It is on an island, that position. And it's just wild to see it all kind of unfold and come to fruition right before our eyes in really about a 6-month time period. This started around franchise tag season and free agency, and it's led us into the first month of the year where now it's like, wow, it's just tough. It's tough on running backs. Like, I don't have an answer for you running backs. I really don't. Like, we have some stars at the running back position. Saquon Barkley can be a star in this league. He just doesn't play enough.
He played all season last year.
I know. But he still doesn't play enough. He might not be playing Thursday night when it's the only game in town. And he might be the biggest star on the field.
That's fair.
But he might not play.
Someone explain to me who benefits aside from the owners. Like, what would be the reason for a franchise tag?
Well, it's just leverage. Yeah.
It's literally, that's it. It's just the owners not wanting to pay somebody before.
The fans who bought a jersey.
Well,
it's modern sports.
It's leverage because here's the thing. I don't think the league, maybe this was going back a ways, and I don't know the true origin of it, but this is my just quick, you asked the question, I'm going to answer it this way, is I don't think the league loves players holding out, right? You build rosters and you think you have a player and then they hold out. Like, in the real world, that doesn't happen for any length of time, or nobody notices it because people aren't getting paid the amount of money or have the amount of money in their bank to be able to skip paychecks. So I think it's a bad look for the league. It's usually a bad look for teams. It usually hurts the teams. And so this is the leverage in saying, okay, if you want more power as a player to say, I want this in my contract, we've got this as a neutralizer to say, well, we can at least try to work on this longer. Because otherwise they'd be held to the fan every single time on a contract deal saying, okay, I'm going to sit out, I'm going to sit out, I'm going to sit out.
Yeah, well,
like
then
the Giants would have had no
penalties.
leverage, right? The Giants either would not have Saquon Barkley or they would have had to pay him X amount of
Then
dollars.
you create bigger penalties then. Like instead of the franchise tag, which essentially imprisons an employee to the franchise for 2 extra years.
Yeah, I don't know if I love that either. I don't.
Instead of that, why don't you void the guarantees and make them pay back some of the money you gave them? So like if you sign a deal and he's got a, $25 million in total guarantees, and then 2 years, 3 years into it, Le'Veon Bell or whatever sits out for the year. Well, now Lev's got to give back $20 million guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean, there might be other ways to do it. I don't think this is the best way to do it. I get why the players hate it, but I also think if I'm the owner, if I try to put myself in the owner position of teams, I need some leverage in all this, especially in the last 5 to 10 years where the player has really been empowered. And the contracts are so big that they are even more empowered because they're not worried about the paycheck. They've already got 30 mil sitting in the bank or 10 mil sitting in the bank. And heck, now these guys coming into the league, the superstars already have millions sitting in the bank because of the college landscape. So, you lose leverage when people have money in the bank. They can act a certain way that somebody that doesn't have money in the bank.
I mean, if they're not worried about the paycheck, what are they worried about? I mean, to me, there's no security. Nick Chubb, I think he received $4 million guaranteed total lifetime of his contract at this point in his career.
Yeah.
And you don't know if he's ever going to play again.
Not enough, yeah. Yeah. Listen, I'm with you. I think that there needs to be something done about this position. But the bottom line is, I believe right now it's the most dangerous position in sports. I think a pitcher would probably be next. And when I say dangerous, I don't think you're going to die. I'm talking about bodily harm that can really impact the future of your career in your earnings. And then on top of that, I think it's just a bad position to play. It's not sexy anymore. You can be a star for 6 weeks or 6 months, but it's hard to be for 6 years.
I mean, you might be right about the longevity, but not sexy. I was watching Bijan Robinson just light dudes up, juking right and left, missed tackles, 6 missed tackles on one play. That guy looks great.
That's fine. Let me know if he's playing in December.
All right, I'll
or let me know if he's still a star next December. That's my point. You can be a right guard that's not sexy, that's making $18, $20 million now, and you play for 10 years. That's a better position to play. Start eating marshmallows and shakes and get chubby.
Don't got to tell me twice. Come on.
Not to say all guards are chubby.
That's literally what you said.
You
I
did
kinda
just
did
say that.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's all right.
No, you're not.
They're svelte.
Do you have those marshmallows, or were you just gassing me up?
We use those for baseball in the house.
Dope.
What are you shaking your head at, Kasey?
He's
just
mad.
waiting for
He's
somebody
mad
to say
about the
something.
marshmallows is what he's mad about. I'm mad,
Where's
by
the
the
kettle
way.
corn, Brent?
Where is the kettle corn? Where is the marshmallows? And why can't anyone in this building fill an ice cube tray? Because all 3 of them empty today.
Nobody fills ice cream trays anymore.
Ice cube.
Ice cream.
How dare you?
Or ice cream trays. But
Yeah.
ice cream trays might be
That
good.
would be delicious,
Another
to be
invention.
honest
Here
with
it
you.
comes, right
I'm
here
with
on
it.
Brent Friends on
Yes, sir.
ESPN 690. Go to break, Bachman. You staying around?
Yeah, I'm staying around.
All right, good deal.
I came to surprise you.
We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly sunny again, warm with comfortable humidity today. Highs will be in the mid to upper 80s. 80s to 70s this evening, mostly clear and dry. Overnight down into the upper 60s. From the Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Beaton-Ball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop and compare and save thousands at Beards Diamonds.
Victim of a slip and fall? It takes one phone call to take back control of your life. Anajar and Levine will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call me, Mark Anajar, for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine are paying out over $640,000 this month in poker promotions. There will be exciting high-hand specials and no-limit hold'em tournaments all month. Catch Insta Paydays and game day promos at St. Augustine, $300 early bird specials at Orange Park, $500 Fridays at Jacksonville, and much more. Enjoy the best in poker and card games at Best Bet. For more information, visit bestbetjacks.com.
It's fantasy football like you've never played it before. You love fantasy football, right? Of course you do. Do you like competing? Yeah. You like winning? Absolutely. It's Fantasy Card Breaks with Davoli's House of Cards. You don't know your team until you open the pack of cards. There's curiosity, competition, and collecting prizes. Visit Davoli's House of Cards off 210 in St. Johns County, or just visit fantasycardbreaks.com. Fantasy football like you've never played it before with Davoli's House of Cards. fantasycardbreaks.com.
Grab an ice-cold can of Celsius Arctic Vibe and experience a refreshing blast of sparkling frozen berry. Celsius Essential Energy Drinks are the perfect way to beat the heat all summer long. Find Celsius Arctic Vibe at a retailer near you or visit Celsius.com to learn more.
Jacksonville is a great place to live. And if you love where you live, you should invest in it. That's why more and more people bank with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. We invest every penny back into North Florida, backing the very best small businesses, nonprofits, and of course, the family home. Why put your money with some big out-of-state bank when you can invest in where you love to live? One-to-One Financial, we're your hometown credit union. Sign up today at one-to-one-fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it, have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Nothing slows my little girl down, except a stuffy nose.
Mommy.
That's why I use Sinex Children's Saline from Vicks. Sinex instantly clears mucus in everyday stuffy little noses with a gentle, ultra-fine mist designed for kids. Just Sinex? Breathe. Her stuffy nose is gone for now. And so is she.
Sinex Children's Saline. Sinex, breathe. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
When my daughter gets a cold, I have a secret weapon. DayQuil Kids Berry from Vicks. DayQuil Kids is specially formulated to treat kids' most bothersome cold and cough symptoms quickly. And the best part is that DayQuil Kids Berry tastes really great. Aren't you supposed to be resting? Maybe.
DayQuil Kids Berry. The Kids Berrylicious daytime congestion, coughing, stuffy head, stuffy nose, just for kids. Medicine. Safe for kids 6 years plus.
This is Brent Friends with Brent Martineau,
You don't even like your quarterback.
Kasey Kuhrts,
You don't even like your team.
and Aaron Schachter
I don't even like myself, guys. Do you know me?
on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio, ESPN 690.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690. Hey, welcome back, Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kuhrts, John Bachman talking his 0-2 Minnesota Vikings now. Is that why you come up to the sports show?
No, that's not why. That hurts. We're tanking for Caleb. That's what we're doing.
You see immediately, you come into the studio, a friendly face, the guy comes up here to hang out, and you're like, hey, let me make fun of you for a second.
That sound you heard was the bus running right over me.
That's what I like about Bachman. He's just like a regular guy. Guys give rib shots all the time, man. I mean, you just got to punch him sometimes where it hurts for the Vikings.
I do take it a lot.
All right, you're running the Vikings right now. Do you trade Kirk Cousins and tank for Caleb
I traded
Williams?
him. I trade him right now to the Jets.
Take him.
I trade him to anybody who takes him because he's a free agent after the end of the year. We will get whatever we can get for him, and we have no chance of doing anything this year. We need to take in the draft capital, and then we need to go and get I was kidding about Caleb because we probably won't be that bad. I mean, we'll be bad enough to get maybe the top 3 or 4 picks.
Yeah, but maybe
any
not
of those quarterbacks are cheaper
most notably cheaper. Maybe not better than Cousins right now, but definitely cheaper, which means you can then go and, fortify the offensive line, which is a disaster, anybody in the defense, and you're good to go.
Well, as the official delegate from the New York Jets, we can't offer you a second-round pick this year because we had to pay for Aaron Rodgers'
That's
Achilles.
true.
But we'll give you the Statue of Liberty.
Yes.
And a few other things to take back to Minnesota.
That would look good in one of the lakes up in Minnesota.
Yes, actually,
we take that.
New entrance on top of the Mall of America.
But how good would the Jets be if they had Kirk Cousins? Now, their offensive line's not very good in New York either, so Cousins might get destroyed there. And
Well,
we
he
know
would.
that he's not.
Every quarterback gets destroyed in New York. But the Jets would actually know the answer to that question if Cousins was an insane person who accepted the previous contract they offered him of 3 years, guaranteed $90 million. And he was like, no, I'm going to the Vikings.
You know what's very impressive right now about Aaron Schachter?
What's that?
He had the Bachman picture ready.
Oh, my gosh.
That's
impressive.
We didn't have a
Facebook,
cam for
Twitter,
John.
and Twitch.
I was actually disappointed in you. We got a TV star in here and no way to show everybody.
I didn't know he was coming up. He's just
Nobody
coming
knew.
up
I
to
came up here
surprise us.
because I wanted to brag on Brent, and I knew if I told him, he wouldn't let me. So I'm coming up here to quickly brag on Brent. The Dream 18 was yesterday, the golf tournament that he does every year. And every year it's great, but every year it gets better. And he does a lot of work. He and his family, obviously the Action Sports Jacks team was all out there. And I just think it's incredible how much time and energy you put into that. And every year it gets better. The swag bag was insane. So if you are a golfer who enjoys playing fun golf in a fun environment, this is where you need to go, and it's a great. You get your organizations are wonderful as well. It's just a fun, quick. It's not one of those like long, drawn out affairs. That's the other thing I like about it is that it's one of the few events that I can play on a Monday morning at 8:30 in the morning and still get to work on time.
The best thing about yesterday, we did under 5 hours for tournament golf.
Yes.
That's pretty good with a 120-player field.
I got two follow-ups.
Okay, go ahead.
John, did you get any kettle corn?
I did actually. I have a bag at home. Yeah, I sure did. I got it for my kids.
My man from Front
that's
Porch
weird.
Kettle Corn. I bet he's going to send some your way now. Casey's he's not talking to me right
Because
now.
you didn't get into me?
The last couple of years, I've brought a box of
bags.
from
Rightfully
Kettle
so.
Corn.
Yeah.
And the boys would go through it very quickly.
Well, usually,
good stuff, isn't it?
Steph will go grab a box, and I don't think she made her way around.
You're
so I'm
throwing
blaming
Steph
Steph.
under the bus.
No,
See,
I
look at
asked her
this.
today.
First it's me, now it's Steph.
No, I asked her
She
today.
worked all day yesterday.
I know, she did
and
a great job.
Come on, man.
She's actually enhanced the tournament quite a bit since she started
cool.
helping
Way
out.
to give her a compliment right after
Right
you throw
after
her
she's
under
the
the
one-
bus.
I asked, I
Jeez.
was like, hey, do you have a box? Because I actually asked for Casey. I was like, you guys usually get it. Did you get one? Because I only got like one bag for myself, selfishly.
Divorce
And she's
lawyers
like,
in
no,
town,
I
you
didn't
can
go
call
back
904.
either.
All right, I know you have another
16,
follow-up, but
901.
that reminded me of another shout-out I wanted to give to Mike Burrish. You gave a Burrish shout-out earlier. But that man just underwent knee surgery on Friday, and he and his lovely wife, Heidi, were out there. She was driving him around on the golf course so he could say hi because he wouldn't miss it for the world.
Well,
so
that
that's
was
pretty
awesome.
cool,
Yeah, that was
too.
cool.
Awesome
And he
of him.
dialed up
And
a
he
great
delivered,
day.
a gorgeous day.
Hey, I'll hook you up, says Front Porch Kettle Corn.
Hey,
there we
they're
go.
listening.
Casey,
All right.
you wanna talk to me now? There we go.
There you go, Case. Christmas in September.
That doesn't have nothing to do with you, Brent.
Oh, he's still disappointed, Brian.
Wow.
He's still hurt.
Last time, did he text you?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Wow. Man, that doorway is going to be too small for Brent's head.
I mean, hey, you said I didn't do anything.
That's true. I know. I'm just.
I got to flex somewhere in here.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just fighting back.
You know, we should go do. We're going to do a remote out that way anyway. Front Porch Kettle Corn. Also, they have an ice cream shop now out
hey,
in McClenny,
give
too.
those guys a big shout out because I was playing with a guy who hit his truck.
Oh, you got whoops. You got the trailer?
So that hit the trailer. So they were parked on the
the
right
Hegman
hand,
out
like
there.
way out of even view of the green on what is that? 15. And it's a 200-yard par three
they are
over a
from
bunker.
the pin, they're probably 30 yards
At
away.
least 30 yards right. I would go maybe more. And my buddy, who will remain
He's a good
nameless.
player.
He's a pretty good player. He's like a 6 handicap. He hit one, went right. You know, one of those that went right and then farther right. And I'm like, that could be in trouble. That could hit those guys. And so we roll up there and we're like, did we get you? And they're like, yeah, the trailer. So shout out to those guys for not dying.
Yeah, he said, yep. But we'll have to go buff that dent out, I guess. We got some work to do for this kettle corn.
All right. What was your follow-up, Aaron? Or did I just distract you?
I wanted to see if Brent wanted to comment on how wonderful he is.
Oh.
No, I don't. I really don't.
That's where you're evading the question.
I'm
I see.
evading it,
All right.
yes.
Well,
we
guys
had a good
already-
by the way, we had a great tournament. It really was. It was smooth. It was good. And everybody's we get the best part about doing an event that's now 9 years in the making
is cool to see people come back.
Yeah.
So that's
You're
the fun
growing like
part,
a little
right?
family
And
there,
you do like a lot of emceeing, Make-A-Wish, and First Tee, and so you get the similar people that know to run a show a little bit, and then you see new people too. I mean, obviously you're going to get some new people in, but we've had a lot of people that have supported for a long time, which is great. So hopefully they continue to support. Next year will be a big year. Be 10 year of the tournament anniversary, and 15 years really since the whole Dream 18 concept.
And you've survived a lot of different weather situations. I know at least one year got
twice by hurricanes.
Twice, okay, yeah,
but never. And even the pandemic, we actually still had. I was going to cancel it that year. We ended up kind of clearing things out in time, and golf course isn't a bad place to be during the pandemic.
Golf course is great.
So,
that was one of the best things for golf business was the pandemic.
And they're still booming, most of them, because of it. All right, get out of here, Bachman. Appreciate you coming up. That was very nice of you. I mean, you can stay really if you want.
I mean, I don't have anything else to say.
Whatever happened to the segment where you used to come up and join us?
I don't know what happened.
Did that go away with the pandemic? I think it did.
It kind of did. They told, that's exactly what happened because they told me I couldn't cross the threshold. Remember that?
Was that long ago?
We have the TV radio threshold, and I was
I'm the only one allowed to cross it.
During the pandemic, I was told, well, I crossed it today. I think it's safe now, but I was
the
told
DMZ now.
It was the DMZ. I couldn't walk through that thing. In fact, they said my key card. I don't know if I ever tested it or not, but they said my little badge thing wouldn't work over there anymore.
Wow.
So that's why I stopped. That's exactly what happened. So, you want to ask me what we're working on today?
What's that?
You want to ask me what we're working on?
Yeah, I do.
Stories we're working on today? Well, there's a lot of stuff, but one of the things that I think is pretty interesting is that they're finally letting some cars out of that parking garage that collapsed.
I saw they were taking some of those out.
So,
it was pretty wild. I saw our video, some of the folks that are covering that story for Action News Jax, and they have like, and this might be old, but I just noticed it today, where it's like a robotic tow truck. To remove the vehicles.
I didn't see that, but
it's just amazing some of the technology that probably happened like 10 years ago.
What I thought was really interesting was how JSO used their drone to fly in there, and they got, I think there was only 1 or 2 cars that were so smashed underneath the concrete that they couldn't get, but they used their drone to get the license plate numbers so they could then look and then check on everybody. That's how they made sure nobody was hurt.
Wow.
That's interesting.
And that was really fascinating.
Nobody got hurt in that, first of all.
It really is. It really is. I mean, you look at it, and the section's not that big, so that was promising. But also, kind of maybe perhaps the time of day. I think it happened late morning, if my memory serves. Everybody's kind of. But it's the thing about that is that there were patients who used that deck, and patients come and go all the time. It's not like at 9 o'clock everybody arrives for work.
Right.
They park and then they're in there all day. But there are people moving and shaking all day. So. To answer your question, yes, it's remarkable, and they had the Berkman collapse. That was a different story.
Answer me 2 questions that I don't know if you can answer or know the answer to. Does insurance cover that? What happened to those vehicles?
Yes, we had this discussion in the newsroom today, and I did not get the official answer, so I can't speak authoritatively on it. Because it's not a natural disaster, like it didn't collapse because of a sink, because of flood waters washing away the footings or something like that. But yes, your insurance. I mean,
wouldn't you imagine the insurance company would sue the parking garage?
Correct. There'll be lawsuits, and I mean, let's be honest, that's partly why we want answers, of course, and we're asking the hospital for answers because it's their deck, and they're not able to give a lot of answers right now. In part because they might not have them, but also because of the lawsuits that are
going to be a lot of that going on.
Litigious nature.
Yes.
All right, one more for you then. Does this spark now inspections across parking garages all over town?
Well, listen. So that was another big conversation we had all last week, and that is number one, if it's a public parking garage, they're inspected. The city inspects those. They are. I don't know. I think it's every year. It might be more often than that, but they are required to be inspected. The private decks, it's up to the owners. So if the owners want to pay to have somebody inspect them, they do. If they don't, there's not any mandate on that, which is interesting. So to answer your question, will there be some sort of, legislation that will change that? Maybe. I haven't heard of anybody suggesting that that's going to be done, and I don't know how. That's a big bite to take.
It's a big bite, but I'll tell you this. I mean, if I go to a parking garage, I'm kind of assuming it's a safe place to be.
Yeah, of course.
Now, whether I know it's publicly owned or privately owned, I'm assuming it's.
Now, I don't have the numbers to put it into context for you, but I would argue they are still relatively safe.
Oh, I would assume they are. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is
the numbers. This is
think
a rare
about how many
thing,
parking
right?
decks there are and how many you hear about collapsing. There aren't many.
Yeah, that's
now,
a good point.
I'm not suggesting that they shouldn't be inspected because they inspect elevators. right?
Yeah,
you
good
get an elevator,
Regular
they're
basis.
inspected every year. They're supposed to be.
certificate
And
is
if-
on display,
That's right.
yeah.
And if they're not inspected, you're in trouble. So, there is that. So I'm not suggesting they shouldn't be, but I'm also suggesting that this is, very rare occurrence.
To flip this back to
Thankfully.
sports, I think
Yeah.
we should also start inspecting whether running back is a safe job.
Wow.
Running back knees are getting inspected a lot these days.
Yes, too much.
I heard that as I walked in. That was a horrible
That was a
injury.
tough injury, man.
And you're right. I mean, when I played, I was a running back, linebacker, and I'm glad I'm not doing that now.
Yeah, but those are like the fun positions when you were
yes,
playing.
you got to
right?
touch
Like,
the
that's where you
ball a
want.
lot.
Touch
That's
the
where you
ball,
see it.
around
Yeah,
the ball.
you're around the ball.
And I don't know, man. I don't know if that's...
Also, I couldn't throw on the football.
Yeah, but people are always going to want to be around the ball. Like, I
Yeah.
understand. I'm not telling
Yeah.
you that the running position is going to die,
Right.
and that people aren't going to want to be running backs. But it certainly makes you think long term. If you really are a stud player and have visions of playing in the NFL, it is not the greatest position to play and have a long career. I mean, you can have double the career at wide receiver, and you can have triple the career at quarterback. Now,
But here's the
quarterback is a lot harder position. to
But
play.
most of these, and this holds true for almost every sport now, because I'm running into it even in women's soccer. But every position seems to have a body type. So if you're a 5'9" guy who's super fast, even though you're super fast, you're probably not going to be a receiver. You only have a couple of options, and maybe only a option, which
one
is
option.
running back.
Yeah, that's a good
so
point.
if you want to play football and you're 5'9" and fast, that might be your only option.
That's
Now, if
fair.
you're 6'3", you could be a quarterback. You could be a tight end. If you put on some weight, if you really put on weight, you might even be a lineman, as you were suggesting.
If you really,
Or
really
if
put
you're
on weight,
really-
be a radio host.
Or if you're fast, you can be a wide receiver. But
Ray Jones-Drew was never going to play another position, to your point.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. He was a running back only, and he couldn't fit it. Because I was thinking right away, linebacker, safety even.
Could have
some
been
of
like
the
a
build.
fast fullback, but it was going to be a backfield guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's good.
you probably can't put on enough weight, and you're still not tall enough to even be like a guard or anything like that. I mean, you're kind of pigeonholed into a spot.
It's a good point. One other note on the running
full
backs
of good
before we let
points.
you go. Yeah, you are. Hey, Kasey, whatever happened to Najee Harris? Is he
He's playing.
I know.
He stinks, Brent.
But he stinks.
Yeah.
That's the other part of the running back position.
Well, in fairness, I believe they have Matt Canada calling plays at this point in Pittsburgh. Is
Also
that-
true.
Yeah, and he's not.
He also stinks.
Yeah.
Their offensive line, by the way, stinks.
I was going to say, what's their line like? Because
It's
let's
awful.
not fool ourselves. That's where it all starts.
I don't think Pittsburgh ran a play inside the Browns' 30 last night, and they ended up winning.
I have never seen somebody look slower at running the ball than Najee Harris. Have you seen any of those clips?
Well, you haven't seen any of my highlights.
That is
But you
fair.
didn't get paid to do it.
I did not. Definitely not.
Seriously, I don't watch a lot of Pittsburgh, and obviously I'm not playing I'm not seeing fantasy stats all the time. But I was watching Harris just. I'm like, this guy is just a guy.
Yeah.
Like he is just.
But it's
a
still
guy.
early for him. He's just coming back.
I guess.
Give him a couple.
Yeah,
give him
maybe
a couple of weeks.
Because he came out of the gates really strong.
Yes,
Right?
his rookie year he was like top of the
And
heap.
last
became a
year he was
thing.
bad.
And then last year bad.
But he got hurt.
Everybody, of course he did. He's a running back.
Full circle.
Yeah.
John, thanks for the nice words.
My pleasure. Thanks for doing all you do.
4 o'clock hour coming up.
Yeah, we'll have the newscast at 4. We'll have a newscast at 5. Newscast at 5:30, 6, 6:30, 10, 10:30, and 11. In case anybody wants to tune in, we got them all covered.
Don't take that tie off. Just loosen it in between. Thanks,
yeah,
man.
I got makeup on for all kinds of hours. See you guys. Thanks
John
so much.
Bachman, CBS 47, Fox 30. Check them out tonight. Action News Jacks. Check us out when we come back. Brent Friends on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
Catch Florida State football on Jacksonville's home for ESPN 690. Saturday, the Seminoles travel to Death Valley to take on the Clemson Tigers. Our coverage starts Saturday morning at 9:30 with the Florida State Tailgate Show. Then Jeff Colhane, William Floyd, and Tom Block have the call from Death Valley of Knowles Tigers. Kickoff at 12 noon Saturday. Florida State football is powered by Bass Professional Realty, Bono's Pit Barbecue, and Willie Jewell's Barbecue.
It's fantasy football like you've never played it before. You love fantasy football, right? Of course you do. Do you like competing? Yeah. You like winning? Absolutely. It's Fantasy Card Breaks with Davoli's House of Cards. You don't know your team until you open the pack of cards. There's curiosity, competition, and collecting win prizes. Visit Davoli's House of Cards off 210 in St. Johns County, or just visit fantasycardbreaks.com. Fantasy football like you've never played it before with Davoli's House of Cards. fantasycardbreaks.com.
At the Home Depot, Saturdays are about two things: getting ready for company with the Samsung Family Hub Plus refrigerator and football. That's right, Kirk Herbstreit. Search for recipes, check out scores, or even stream the game to the screen at the same time, so you never miss a second of the action, which means you can make your famous buffalo chicken dip and have more time for football. Upgrade your Saturday with Samsung and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
What's it like to be one of the most sought-after basketball players in the nation?
Top 20 recruit. Say hello to Billy Preston.
You turn into a star damn near.
Preston.
We want Billy.
Until
somebody had called the NCAA anonymously.
The federal probe has turned up widespread fraud and corruption in college basketball.
Listen to The Bag Game from 30 for 30 podcasts.
We all got mud on us, man. All of us.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it, have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Wow, Total Wine really does have everything. I found a great Prosecco for under $8, your favorite Cabernet, and Ruthie.
Ruthie?
Hi, that's me. What can I help with? Oh, thanks for recommending that amazing French rosé. And I can't believe it was under $7.
I know, right? You can't beat that price.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Let's grab some more. So glad we found Ruthie.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, be 21.
There are not many things that can actually change your life. Well, I'm not exaggerating when I say this. QC Kinetics can change your life. You can live again without that chronic joint pain and without drugs or surgery. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. QC Kinetics is advanced regenerative medicine. They take your body's own concentrated healing properties, put them right into your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue that's causing all of that horrible pain. The patient satisfaction reports are amazing. Finally, a real alternative to the old ways of dealing with pain. And unlike surgery, there's no downtime with QC treatments. If you have constant pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or back, you need to call and get a free consultation, 904-274-5522. A free consultation from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics today, 904-274-5522. Imagine this, moving around pain-free, doing the things you love again, walking, hiking, playing with the grandkids. Do it all with QC Kinetics and see how the latest advances in precision regenerative medicine can attack your pain and bring you lasting relief. 904-274-5522.
ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. We'll have 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000. All you have to do is enter the correct keyword at ESPN690.com to be eligible to win. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply. ESPN 690 pays your bills. Sponsored by Arlington Toyota with over 800 new and used vehicles available. Weekdays at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 2 and 5 p.m. Tune in to win from ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. Wu-Tang and Nas are bringing their New York State of Mind tour to Daly's Place, and ESPN 690 has tickets to the show. Log on to ESPN 690 and register to win tickets to see Wu-Tang and Nas September 23rd.
You guys are funny. Sounds like you got some kettle corn coming your way, so it's a big win for you in the last segment.
Shut up, Brent.
Shut up, Richardson.
Very toxic in here today.
What's
Everyone's
the matter
throwing
with you?
jabs.
Brent made it that way.
Why?
I love it.
I got 2 more jabs coming, by the way.
Why? Nothing like a hostile workplace.
Actually, neither jab that I have coming is for the radio. It'll happen on social media, and then we'll probably discuss tomorrow.
Nice. I like that. Little content prep.
But they're both coming at Brent.
It's got to do with fantasy card breaks.
Oh, no.
Actually, it does not.
Really?
Nope.
All right. I can't wait.
I can't either.
It's pretty interesting that they can't come on the radio, but they're going on social media. I like
it plays better on social.
Okay.
I got to play you out in front of some people.
I like it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I can't just play you out in front of us 3. It's no fun.
You can't handle all the Bachman compliments over the last 10 minutes, can you? Got to offset this.
You can't handle the Bachman compliments.
He came up uninvited, just to let you know.
He came in here. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna talk positively about Brent." I was like, "All right, man, get in there."
And you're
Casey's like, "I don't know if we have room for positivity today."
Get in there,
Casey's like, "All right, I'm not going to pot your mic up."
Tried not to.
Hey, one thing that I feel like I've seen circling around, maybe you guys didn't see it enough or as much as me, and maybe my eyes just gravitated this way or my ears. I thought Trevor was getting a little heat from Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I actually asked yesterday on the show, is he getting enough just from a talking point standpoint? But then by last night and into this morning, I'm like, now I feel like he's getting too much.
A little rubber banding
Like,
happening.
I don't know if he played bad.
I don't think he had an awful game at all. It was definitely less than what you come to expect from Trevor, right? Not being able to single-handedly bring the team back.
Yeah.
But that being said, like he had a fine game. Like, granted, the numbers don't look pretty. Offense was clunky. Didn't necessarily have the help you would be accustomed to. I think he was 22 of 41. That's not clean. His rating was lower than we've come to expect. But he didn't lose the team the game by any stretch.
He didn't, but he was also not good.
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Was he not good?
He wasn't bad. He wasn't good. He was there. He participated. He wasn't protected at all. Had no time to throw the football. Missed a couple. Made a couple. Had some drops. He was a quarterback in the NFL, is what he was on Sunday. Wasn't the worst. Wasn't the best.
So he's neutral. Just a guy is basically what you're saying.
He played.
And there were some games last year that he come out of there like that. Like, and sometimes I guess I'm okay with that. I know what you're going to say. Probably is like, well, Patrick Mahomes, every game he plays, he's a factor. And what you're telling me is you didn't really think Trevor was a factor.
Not really.
I will tell you this, like, there wasn't the old wow throw that we saw against the Colts. Didn't really have those. Maybe the Ridley one for 26 yards right before half. It was a good throw.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure it was like, if that was your oh wow, that was it.
Case, if you had to rank Trevor amongst the 32 quarterbacks who played Sunday, not knowing the stats of all the others,
sure,
where do you think he is on that list? You don't have to get specific, but what neighborhood does he live in? What's his zip code?
Well, looking at his 9 fantasy points, I would
maybe that's why people are saying it.
It's probably, you're probably not that
they're
far
looking
off.
back on like, how did I lose this week? Oh, Trevor, what the hell, 9 points?
Without seeing everybody.
22 of 41 for 216.
Yeah. And no touchdowns.
No tutties.
They didn't score one. I would say like 18th.
No picks either.
18th, if you will.
12th is what he was ranked. So you're close, but not
Middle of the road.
necessarily. He was above the midline, and you had him below.
See, I think people will say, I had somebody respond yesterday like, so what if it's 4 or 5 drops? I mean, people drop, and I'm like, yeah, but these are big plays. Like the Kirk drop. Kirk had a nice game. The drop on 3rd down, that's a big play. It's a first down. The Ridley drop over the middle in the red zone. I mean, you're talking about whether you want to believe it or not. The bottom line is this is a league that when you go 2nd and 5 versus 2nd and 10, that matters.
Yeah.
And the calling matters for that.
Sure.
And especially when you get in there tight. The one reason I was a little skeptical about going 4th and 12 when they did, even though I was okay with it at the moment, was that it was 4th and 12 in the red zone. It wasn't like it was 4th and 12 at the 45. Like, it's hard to get 5 yards in the red zone. Never mind 12.
Yep.
Like, that was a low percentage play just based on numbers in the red zone. So, like, I think the Ridley drop was massive early on in that set of downs.
And when you're playing a 1-score game, all drops count.
And I saw somebody else break down today, and I'm not fully sure I'm on board with it because I think Trevor could have had some better ball placement on the end zone throws that were knocked right out of the back of the end zone.
I believe that.
I think I saw this tweet.
But I almost think it was, I don't even know if it was placement, guys. I think it was more, could you have thrown it a beat earlier in the progression of the play? Because then maybe the DB doesn't get it. What the tweet was saying, and I forget who did it, but they had like 4 clips of all the plays, and they said, well, what do you want him to do? If he throws it a little lighter, the guy's going to defend it, right? If he throws a little deeper, he's going to be, you got to get your feet in. I do think those were high degree of difficulty plays by the receivers. Could they make them? Yeah. I mean, listen, Zay Jones made an unbelievable catch last week, right? So you could have, but they didn't. And it felt like in real action, they could have been easier plays to be made if maybe Trevor threw it a beat earlier. But then I'll go all the way back to our conversations yesterday where I think the timing is off a little bit, just a little bit in Trevor's head because of the comfortability around that offensive line. So I don't feel like he played bad.
That's what I put it on. Like, you want to say he should have thrown it a bit earlier. I think it's possible, but I also think that their offensive line was doubling as like subway turnstiles, and he did what he thought was right, getting out as quick as he could, and he just didn't have time throughout the entire game. So again, I don't think Trevor was great, but I also think if he had any better offensive line play, he makes a winning play or two.
Yeah, and listen, I get it. If he's going to really get into that elite conversation, where he's putting himself in the conversation to maybe turn that up a notch and get there this year. And what I would say last week, again, he had some beautiful throws that showcased that last week against Indianapolis. You can't have too many games where you're just kind of there, right? If you're that guy.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Jordan didn't have too many 15-point games. 15 points, everybody scores, right?
Yeah.
But LeBron James doesn't have many games where he's just like 18 points and 2 assists and 2 rebounds.
Brent, that's the best in the sport.
I get it,
ever.
but hey. But the quarterback has the ball in the hands all the time, and you've got to be able to deliver a play. And I just don't know if there was a glaring enough drop in the end zone by the receivers that I could say that was their fault, or wherever else on the field, that you're like, man, I wish Trevor could have somehow done this. And it might be the 4th down and 6 sack at midfield where he could have saved Doug Peterson. Because don't take a sack in that spot. Throw the ball up for grabs for somebody, and then there's the people are saying Kirk was open anyway. Was he? I don't know. It seemed a little simultaneous as he was getting hit to me, but I guess it's okay to expect him to make a winning play.
Sure.
I think that's the expectation.
He didn't do it.
And he didn't. And really nobody did.
Nobody did.
Right? So like,
well, the defense was making winning plays, just not at the end of the game when
nobody on their
the
offense
lead was there. Yeah,
was making a winning play. Not one person.
The great thing about, like, again, I'll go to the Zay Jones play against Indianapolis, is they both made a winning play there.
Right.
I mean, it was a hell of a catch. It was a hell of a throw.
It's a winning play.
Winning play. Didn't have it. Just didn't have it.
Goose egg.
So
on the winning plays.
But I will say this. He didn't lose you the football game.
No. And that is a difference between the beginning of the season last year and the beginning of the season this year.
100%. That is true.
And you definitely can't be doing that, right? If you're in the elite conference, you don't want to, like,
can't do it.
You can lose a game.
Joe Burrow, these first couple of games, you can argue like he's helping them lose the football games, right? Josh Allen, that week 1 against Jets.
Josh Allen lost them the game.
Lost the football game. So you don't want to be in that side of the conversation either. We'll be back. 4 o'clock hour coming up. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anna Jar Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
This is Ortho Health Insights, tips for life in motion, brought to you by the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. You are never too old or too young to begin improving your orthopedic health. Elbow pain is one of the most common complaints from active individuals. Many experience elbow pain while at home or at work, or during their favorite activities like golf, tennis, and pickleball. Most elbow pain has a very simple cause and clears up within a few days. You can normally treat this pain yourself with over-the-counter remedies and a few days rest. Simple exercises can help reduce the risk of future problems. The JOI Orthopedic Elbow Specialists are experienced in diagnosing the cause and treating your pain. Whether you need a course of physical therapy or surgery, JOI can help. Call 904-JOI-2000. That's 904-JOI-2000. Or go to JOI.net. JOI is the official sports medicine provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's fantasy football like you've never played it before. You love fantasy football, right? Of course you do. Do you like competing? Yeah. You like winning? Absolutely. It's Fantasy Card Breaks with Davoli's House of Cards. You don't know your team until you open the pack of cards. There's curiosity, competition, and collecting prizes. Visit Davoli's House of Cards off 210 in St. Johns County, or just visit fantasycardbreaks.com. Fantasy football like you've never played it before with Davoli's House of Cards. fantasycardbreaks.com.
Hey guys, it's me, Pete the Job Guy. You know you listen to my show every weekend, but listen, if you need staffing assistance of any kind, you call the good folks at Ascendo Resources. My co-host Angie Langlois and I'm Pete Langlois, or Pete the Job Guy. Just reach out to me, Pete at PeteTheJobGuy.com, and I can guarantee you there hasn't been a qualified candidate genocide. We know where they're at, and we can fill your open jobs. Ha ha!
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it. Have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer, Florida license number CFC 1428211.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Now at Staples, the prices of HP printers are dropping. Save on HP Smart Tank and enjoy even more savings on ink. Save on the HP Inkjet, perfect for high-quality pics. Save on HP laser printers, great for tackling high-volume document printing. Now through September 30th, save on Staples' entire selection of HP printers, some as low as $69.99. With HP printer price drops at Staples, now is the time to upgrade to HP, America's most trusted printer brand. See staples.com/HP for details.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Colorado football coach Deion Sanders confirmed today two-way star Travis Hunter is out at least through Saturday's game against Oregon because of a lacerated liver. The recent death threats against Colorado State's Henry Blackburn for his illegal hit on Hunter condemned today by Sanders.
Henry Blackburn is a good player who played a phenomenal game. He made a tremendous hit on Travis on the sideline. You could call it dirty. You could call it he was just playing the game of football. He does not deserve a death threat over a game.
Colorado coach Deion Sanders. Giants not yet ruling out running back Saquon Barkley Thursday night despite an ankle injury. Coach Brian Daboll said Barkley's feeling better. He's made progress. Will be a game-time decision against the Niners. Recent reports had Barkley expected to miss 3 weeks. Browns running back Nick Chubb will have season-ending surgery on his injured knee. Jerome Ford is now Cleveland's featured back. The Browns do plan on working on adding another player to the running back room. Panthers linebacker Shaq Thompson had surgery on a fractured fibula. He'll miss the remainder of the season.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me. Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kuhrts. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
You want to just keep playing the music, Ben? I know you like that.
Do I?
Dude, that was barely on.
Am I a fan of it?
You should listen to Overtime.
Or am I
Christian
shocked?
Middleton.
Am I shocked that this is professional broadcasting?
Holy cow. Them boys just let the music play.
It's unbelievable. You should see, there's not a more uncomfortable moment for Aaron when we're transitioning shows and we're all sitting there and talking while the music bed is playing for Overtime with Kuhrts and Middleton. And he's like, three times in like a minute span, I'll be like, are you guys going to start the show? The bed's playing.
We were conversating.
Because here's the other part of it. I've been in my car once or twice where the bed's going before I really knew you guys, and I always got filled with suspense. What's happening? There's something happening. Maybe there was a development in the studio. Maybe a wild boar broke in or something.
That's the point.
No, the wild boar is Kasey.
That's it. Like, we're just keeping people guessing. That's what we do.
I like it.
That's funny.
Some would call it gimmicky, Kasey, not me.
Some would call it get to work on time if you're taking over for Brian down at OKV, and we wouldn't have this problem.
Little shot at Hufflepuff right there.
Full shot, actually. It wasn't a stray. I aimed straight at him.
Sounds like there's going to be more of that, where it's coming from.
Ish.
What's the big story around the National Football League? Last week it was, well, here we go then. 2 weeks straight. That's the most recent news, right? That's recency bias. There were two games last night.
Nick Chubb, top of the heap, running back. Yeah, it's a big deal.
They led with it on ESPN. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and what's interesting about that part is Cleveland looks like they could be pretty good. Now, they lost a game. The other side of that is Deshaun Watson.
Not looking good last night.
Mid.
He's really just a guy, too. I said this about Najee Harris. Like, they don't look like stars to me. $230 million for Deshaun Watson?
He's certainly not playing up to the level of the contract at this point.
You know who did look like a star last night? George Pickens.
Yeah, Pickens is good.
Good old Carl.
You know what I didn't know about Pickens, and I said this during that big run? I never, like, he's fast. Like, he turned on the Jets there.
Yeah, he did.
And I didn't realize he had that part of the game, too.
Breakaway speed?
Yeah. But some of it was he ran faster, like, at the end of the run than he was even running. Like around the 30-yard line?
Yeah, he was trying to make it with flash.
It's good that he's good because Deontay Johnson is going to be on the shelf for a couple of weeks.
But how big a story is Deshaun Watson? That's my point. Like, that should be a bigger story that he's just okay. He needs to be better than okay, and he played last year, and he was just okay.
How long – it sounds like we may be answering this question, but how long does he get of it's not Rust anymore, he just might not be him? Like, are we there?
I think you get a really long leash, but only because he's 28 years old. So it's not injury. And you could say, look, he took 2 years off of football, so maybe it is still rust. Maybe he needs like at least 8 games. What do you have, 6 last year? He's got 2 this year. But, like, you get halfway through this season, if the man still looks like he doesn't got it, there's something happening there.
That's what I'd say. If you get 5-6 weeks in and it's not good.
What do you do if you're the Browns, by the way, with a fully guaranteed contract?
You can't.
Well,
you have to.
Listen,
I know. I meant you can't do anything.
I meant you have to get rid of him at some point, even on the guarantees. You eat it.
The timetable.
No way.
The timetable for quarterbacks is always interesting. So you take Trevor Lawrence. He's going to get time. He had the catastrophe of his rookie season, which was Urban Meyer and everything else. And even last year, there were these ups and downs. And then he turns it on, and now we're like, okay, cool. But that was a pretty long time, and there were some signs in between there that, okay, this is why it isn't working. Now look at what it could be. And he comes in with a bunch of equity to begin with. But, like, Kyler Murray's interesting in this situation. Like, Kyler Murray, to me, is a forgotten player in the National Football League making $46 million. That means you're hurt like he is or not good like he might be.
Okay, but you didn't have a long enough resume, in my opinion, on Kyler Murray to go, now here's a guy you knew was good, and what happened? You still didn't really know on Kyler Murray, even though you saw him, you saw the capability.
Yeah, because he was like in MVP talks, I think, for the first half of like a couple years ago, right?
But you're looking at Deshaun Watson. He had 3 legitimate Pro Bowl type seasons, including the last one in Houston with almost 5,000 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I mean, stellar years on not great teams. Some of them were okay, but not great teams. And you go to Cleveland, and last year you go, okay, I get it. He's been out for a while. He's just coming back in the middle of this thing. There's all this noise around him about the things he allegedly did. But this year, you got to see better than this.
Well, and that's my point. Like, I don't know if he gets as long of a leash. Yeah, he didn't play for a bit, but he was good. Like, he was amongst the elite in the National Football League. And he's really showed very little signs of being there again. And this is a pretty good football team.
It is.
I know Chubb now goes out, but he's got a good running game. He's got a good offensive line. He's got a good defense to help him out. And he's got some receivers. So, like, there were the excuses. It's just, okay, dude, like, rust is rust, but you've had a whole off season and not everything's circulating anymore. And you got to kind of be good. I would say the same thing about Russell Wilson here. How long do you go until you say the dude just doesn't have it anymore? Because he played so well for so long. Last year was such a disaster. And I think he's a little bit in the Deshaun Watson camp of, you might know by week 5 that this is who Russ is now, and this is who Deshaun Watson is now. And I understand your age difference maybe plays into that a bit.
I would say it's more than a maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But, I mean, you are who you are after a certain amount of time if you can't recapture what you were.
I do have an update to my opinion on Russell Wilson if you want to let everybody know. I'm firmly sitting on the fence once again, where I used to believe in Russ for this season.
Oh.
And now I'm thinking that they're going to ditch this guy at the end of the year.
Yeah, he's garbage. 26.5% off-target rate for Deshaun Watson. Highest in the league.
26.5 is
He got sacked. Now, here's the thing. He got sacked 6 times last night on 11 dropbacks. But
they're playing TJ Watt. So.
Their offensive line is supposed to be goated.
Well, specifically in the run. They have a decent pass block, too, but run blocking, they're number 1 in the league for sure.
Like, just not good. Not good enough. I would say in terms of those 3 guys, I know Kyler's hurt. Russ has the shortest leash, I would say, then Kyler, then Deshaun. So what are you going to do with Deshaun? Like, I understand you try to get out of it, but who's trading for Deshaun Watson right now? Like, this is probably going to be a great quarterback class. So if you're bad, you're seeing that through before you're trading for a veteran, I would think.
I'll take him. I'll give Cleveland the Statue of Liberty as well as a few other draft picks.
They're like the one team that's different.
You have no love for the Statue of Liberty, man. It's twice you just gave it away on the show in an hour and 10 minutes.
New York's
Cleveland and Minnesota.
New York's had it for a few years. First of all, it would go very nicely next to the Mall of America in Minnesota. And can you think of a more American blue-collar city than Believeland? I can't.
You got to give up on Cleveland, bro.
It will look very nice.
It would.
In the lake.
Or amongst the downtrodden factories of Cleveland. Right next to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
We've had
the Statue of Liberty.
Basically, it's like we've had it for long enough.
Yes. Look, I tried to go to it last weekend. And don't even bother. The line's out the window. It's crazy.
Out the window. Yeesh.
I just don't know if these guys are going to recapture. Here's what I will say about Cleveland. I think, or Denver versus Cleveland in this sense. Denver needs Russell Wilson, in my opinion, to play well. The guy that's getting no criticism at all in Denver because he's covering it up or Peyton or whatever is like a guy like Jerry Jeudy.
Who's been invisible.
The guy's
I didn't even know
supposed
he
to be
still.
great, and he's not. In Cleveland, I do believe they can kind of play smoke and mirrors a bit with Watson, even if he isn't who they thought he was going to be, and still win games.
I mean, they could with Chubb.
Well, maybe we'll see what they do there. Do they go get Kareem Hunt? Do they make a move for Jonathan Taylor? Do they but they have good players. And if you get just even average quarterback play, not bad quarterback play, then you might have a chance. Like Denver needs good quarterback play to be able to raise them up in that division. I don't know if Cleveland needs that. So maybe you're still okay with Watson, even though we all would know that he's not worth $230 million guaranteed because he's not playing at that level. I just think we're going to know by the middle of this season if these guys are ever going to recapture it or they are just pretty average quarterbacks in the National Football League now.
Well, whether Russell Wilson is washed or not, it's clear to me that Sean Payton is trying to wash him out of Denver, period. All he does is talk about this dude in the press. He doesn't say the name Russell Wilson, but he alludes to it being all Wilson's fault. And I'm like, first of all, as a head coach, you almost never see that. You almost never see it. Certainly not with a star quarterback, and certainly not with a star quarterback who's considered a sensitive person. So I think Sean Payton's over the whole thing.
Yeah, I think this
What are they going to do?
I think there's a little Sean Payton not taking blame, too. Like, he's going to try to – he already did that in the offseason, I believe, when it was about Russell Wilson. And when he did this the last time, just kind of separate. I don't want to be attached to this guy. This wasn't the guy I brought in, right? So I want to be separate here, so this isn't on me. This happens in the National Football League. I know it sounds petty, but it really does.
I believe it.
Happens all over the place in the National Football League. Sometimes it's public, sometimes it's not. But as soon as things kind of hit the fan a little bit, not to go as expected, it's the pointing fingers game internally usually. And like, he probably has a leg to stand on here because he didn't bring Wilson, but he agreed to the job to say, I could fix him.
Yeah, it's how he got the job. He's like, I'm the guy who can do it. In case to answer your question, next year's cap hit for Russell Wilson is $17 million. Now, he's got other money coming to him.
That's it.
And then there's a dead cap hit that's pretty significant.
So they can't cut him.
Well, they can is the point, right? Like, the cap hit at $17 million, the dead cap money, the thinking is that the Waltons can cover it, who own the Broncos. It's got to be a post-June, and that's what I mean. It's got to be a post-June 1 cut, though, to minimize the impact. But you're basically cash strapped for the year, and you can't go out and really invest in a quarterback at that point until the next season.
Hope he keeps losing. That's your best shot, truly. Where are we at on Kenny Pickett, guys? Because that was also not good.
I'll tell you what, he toughed it out. I'll give him that. I thought he was coming out of the game.
I thought Kenny was going to be good. But, yeesh.
Their skill position on paper should be better, right?
Those Steelers.
Yeah.
Yes, their first-round running back should be better. Their would-have-been first-round wide receiver but fell because he got hurt is good.
Is good.
But Deontay Johnson, who is now hurt, not good. Allen Robinson.
And you mentioned their offensive line.
Their offensive line is up there with the Jags. Holy cow.
Champs,
really weird to see Pittsburgh offensive line not good.
Getting pushed around, yeah.
Right?
This is like the second straight year of just bad offensive line play for them.
And their defense is good.
Their tight end, I think, is talented, but having a hard time getting him the football. That might be on Kenny Pickett, or maybe it's all on the offensive line. I don't know. I just thought Kenny would take a step. Maybe
I think everybody
alone.
thought that. You saw all the media around Pittsburgh just swearing up and down about this guy. You heard the same about Desmond Ridder going into the season. That's not panning out either. That's the thing, man. You can't have a Pro Bowl level player on 32 teams playing quarterback. It just doesn't exist.
No, that's true.
What makes this all interesting is you've got, not to pile on Aaron, but a team like the Jets, who are one of few that if you're still trying to compete because the window's open, it would be like Jacksonville if something were to happen to Trevor. Knock on wood, it won't happen. But I feel like more teams are in the I'd rather be awful than decent to check in the quarterbacks next year. And then you've got all these guys who are high paid, like Kyler, like Russ, like Kirk Cousins.
Who aren't delivering.
Their teams aren't good. Like, I'm wondering if we actually see legit quarterbacks move before the trade deadline because everyone's trying to figure out what they're doing.
Advanced early carousel action. I like that.
Well, I think it's possible. The Jets got to do something, we think.
I don't think they're doing something.
And if you're a team like Denver and you see the writing on the wall, do you try to get out? But is anybody taking?
No one's taking Russ.
It's just weird.
No one's taking Russ. No one's taking Kyler unless you're eating all of the money if you're the Cardinals or the Broncos.
I think the only team taken, or the only guy that will be taken, let's say it like that, is Kirk Cousins. Like, if they did want to get out from under, if it's going bad, you got time now, right? I mean, even the Jets have not signed their fate to stay with Wilson the rest of this year.
No,
they have for the next month. I don't think they have.
If I'm looking at this thing, and obviously they're not going to talk about what the real plan is for them that they talk about inside those walls. But you think about how difficult it is to bring somebody up to speed when you bring them on the team halfway through the season. Your best bet is to stick it out with Wilson. The problem is a guy like Kirk Cousins becomes street pizza snap 4 in his Jets career, a la Aaron Rodgers. Like, who are you bringing in to play in that franchise? Kirk Cousins, who is going to get Kirk Cousins? Where does he fit? The way I see it, the Jets are keeping Zach Wilson. They're going to hire like a Carson Wentz to sit behind him. So when Wilson gets injured, Wentz comes in, becomes street pizza for 5 games, you bring Wilson back. Cross your fingers, hope for the best, blow out solid at the end of the year, whatever they're going to do to that front office and move it along. But Kirk Cousins, like, name a team where this guy can sit in the pocket for 5 seconds and not move around that needs a quarterback. I don't understand where this team exists.
Yeah, but I do believe this. When you have the veteran quarterback that can get things done before the snap actually takes place, you can protect your offensive line a little bit better. So even if they're not great, again, I believe Aaron Rodgers would have done this for the New York Jets. You would not, they might still not be great, but you can make them better. Over the years, guys like Brady and Manning did this. And so what you can't do that in, I think, is when you have a quarterback that's hardly played and has no confidence and doesn't know it as well. Zach Wilson, very tough thing to do. Some people make their offensive line better because of their ability to escape. I think Trevor's done that a little bit over the years, where his ability to move has saved this offensive line probably some sacks. Others do it with their ability to dissect at the line of scrimmage and then get you into a certain play because of it or protection. And I think the veteran quarterback can do that. I don't know how good Kirk Cousins is at that. I'm just saying, with all his experience, he would be more apt to do that. So I'd feel better. The other part of this from a Jet standpoint is those guys, if you want to say in the same breath that, well, then they're going to get canned or they're going to be out, guess what they're also going to be? Desperate as hell.
Sure.
Because you got to do whatever you got to do to save the job and not worry about the next year.
No, I think that's fair, except for the fact that the owner in New York is a meddler, and that's the whole reason they had Rodgers in the first place. And I find it hard to believe, after giving Rodgers a $65 million payday just for this season, guaranteed, that they're going to go out and throw another 30, 40, 50 at Kirk Cousins or somebody.
The finances are tricky. I get it.
And by the way, you're only buying him for half a season because you think Rodgers is back, possibly by the playoffs.
But that half a season can be the future for the GM and coach or whoever else. And it's a window. The window is open maybe right now for the Jets to jump on top of it, depending on what everything else looks like in the next few weeks. Kasey, the Bucs, the Saints, and the Falcons all 2-0, just like we thought. The NFC South is really good.
That's exactly what we said. You know who's not good, though? The Carolina Panthers.
Nah.
The Bears are going to end up with the number 1 pick somehow, some way, whether it's Carolina or whether it's them.
They may get the 1 and 2, just like Arizona's trying. You may have Chicago and Arizona owning the first 4 picks of the draft.
That would be nuts.
Bryce Young's getting beat up a bit, isn't he?
He's tiny.
Well,
Did you see this report?
I'm saying from the criticism, right? Like,
well,
he's not really
good,
doing
and he's small. Did you see this report?
Like he is tiny.
Did you see this thing today?
What was that?
They can't run a QB sneak. This is the report. They can't run a QB sneak because he's too small.
They're afraid.
Yes.
That's the thing. Boy. How do you draft a guy if that's how you feel? How do you do that? How do you draft him How do you...
You traded up for it.
Ooh, I just almost freaked out about a team I don't care about. Okay. Let's bring it down on a Tuesday.
Were they the rumored team to have Stroud over Young?
Yes.
And we kind of said, like, we don't see the ceiling, but that would have been the safer play for Carolina.
Weren't just rumored. McCown basically told Stroud, I'll see you in Carolina.
Yeah. And he's out here throwing for 330. They're losing, but he's out here throwing for 330.
Records.
380. You're right. Yeah, that's a mess. But the rest of the NFC South, like, it's very underwhelming, though. I've paid a little bit of attention to the Saints. It's not pretty.
It's not sexy.
Like, they are barely winning games.
You can say the same about the Falcons.
To be honest, the sexiest is the Bucs right now.
Yeah, and they've played 2 really bad NFC teams.
But that's okay. They won on the road.
I'm not saying they're
Baker
bad.
Mayfield's playing pretty well.
I'm just saying I certainly thought, and was amongst many others who thought Tampa Bay would be one of the bottom 5 teams in the league this year, even with all those skill player help.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 2-0. And then people were like, playoff team. And I'm like, well, look who they beat.
Yeah, there's a couple of teams that are like the Rams have surprised me. I mean, they went toe-to-toe with San Francisco, and they were right there, really, in that game, and started making too many mistakes.
They're surprising.
Puka Nacua.
The Commanders.
Not a believer.
I wouldn't say I'm a buyer, but again,
I'm
beat
buying.
two bad teams.
It's a heck of a start.
I'm buying.
But you beat the Cardinals, who we thought would go 0-17, and the Giants that we were all laughing at, they don't have anyone on offense.
I get it.
No, they beat
No, they
Denver.
didn't beat the Giants. They beat Denver.
Oh, I'm sorry, Denver.
They were down 17, though, and won on the road.
That was
I'm
a heck
buying.
of a comeback.
I'm buying. Bieniemy in the offense, Sam Howell, Brian Robinson, Scary Terry F1 McLaurin, always been a fan. I'm buying.
There might be a there on Bieniemy, by the way. Leaves Kansas City, offense struggles
there's
a little
a
bit.
there.
He's
Absolutely.
in Washington, yelling at people, making dudes cry. Suddenly they're playing well.
Yeah.
I'm with that. I believe
Good
that.
for him. Good for him. That's, and Rivera knows how to win games.
Yeah, he's a seasoned coach.
They got good players. They do have some good players. It was all about the quarterback position and maybe getting Snyder out of there. But they play in that tough division. Like, now I don't know what to think of the Giants either.
I think they're just a bad team.
I think they stink, Brent.
That was a heck of a win by them, too. I know it was against Arizona, but they were getting crushed and embarrassed, and they were down 60-0 on the season.
Yeah, they didn't
and
give
then
up.
rallied.
They didn't give up. Dable is a good coach. Won't let his guys give up. That's as far as I'll go with it.
Yeah, they're not talented. Like, that's the thing about the Giants. We said even last year when they were winning, you look at the roster, they've got Saquon, who's extremely talented, but the rest of their playmakers weren't talented.
You didn't believe it.
Plain and simple. And they got some guys on defense, okay, but they're playing above their heads. They have a couple of playmakers, and now they might just be getting exposed.
But, we sit here talking about the AFC constantly, all these great quarterbacks in the AFC, how great the AFC is, how washed the NFC is, all these teams in the AFC can make the playoffs in the NFC. If you look at power rankings this week from NFL Nation, 3 out of the top 5 NFC, 1, 2, and 3.
Philly, Dallas, and
San Francisco at number 1.
Yeah, but that's kind of the way that league was, I think, right?
Not Purdy, baby.
That's kind of the way the league was. We intended it to be or thought it could be. They have really crappy teams too. They don't have a lot of depth.
They
but
have
they're
some
top
bad
heavy.
teams. Yeah, there's not much middle class in the NFC, but even in the top 10, you still got the Saints in here. You got the Lions in here. You got 5 out of 5 out of 10 in the top 10.
Saints are in the top 10?
Saints are number 10 at 2-0. Above the Falcons, Commanders, Bucks, Seahawks, Steelers, Browns, Chargers, Bengals, Packers, Rams, Jets, Titans, Giants, Pats, Vikings, Raiders, Colts, Broncos, Panthers, Bears, Texans, Cardinals.
I think there are more mysterious teams in the NFC than anywhere else. Like the Bucks are an interesting one right now.
The Bears are a mysterious team right now.
I think New Orleans is a little, like, again, who they've played. Washington, to your point, who they've played. Seattle, weird first 2 weeks, getting thumped by the Rams and then coming back and beating Detroit on the road. Detroit, because of that's kind of a weird team.
And they just lost Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
that's things.
Where's this thing looking like 7 weeks or 6 weeks or 5 weeks? I don't know. Like, good luck betting on the NFC.
Case?
I will still try. I will absolutely give it my best each and every week, boys, and I'll let you know.
I think the only super strange team in the AFC right now for me.
Oh, there's a couple.
There's a few, but I really think the Bengals, I don't know if they're good or bad.
There's 3 that come to, as soon as you said it, there's 3 things came to my head. The Bengals
are strange for losing, even though hurt Joe Burrow, you wouldn't expect it.
Well, no, now I don't know if they're just not going to get it right because they might not have Burrow. They might just.
My questions are
not
about
be good
Burrow.
and not even close to as good as we thought they'd be.
That's what I'm saying. So, if Burrow's hurt, it shouldn't be shocking to anyone the team is struggling.
Well, and then the pieces they lost on defense are clearly a factor.
Sure.
Impacting, yes.
And the guys they drafted aren't making it work through 2
Point
weeks.
differential right now, -24 for the Bengals, the biggest in the North.
The second team that's confusing is the Chargers because they're too talented to be awful. Like, Staley's not a good coach. I think that's clear. And I know they just do Charger things, but Herbert and Eckler and Quentin Johnston, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, I can go on and on. They got playmakers.
Well, don't name Quentin Johnston because the guy has had 3 targets over 2 games.
You're right.
But they have playmakers on defense and can't stop anybody.
That's what I'm saying.
the weird part.
Well, it's not like this team's getting blowed out. They lost 2 close games. They could turn
but
that
they're
around
giving up
very
30.
quickly.
Why are they giving up that many points?
Well, they didn't necessarily have a stout defense last year. They have players. They have names
They
on
got
there.
a defensive head coach. That's
They
what
got a
everyone's been
defensive head
telling
coach,
me.
and they've got
but it
studs
wasn't
at every
stout.
level.
They weren't highly ranked by any means.
Staley. Third team is Tennessee.
Yeah.
What about them?
That was weird.
I'm confused by them. I don't know what the deal is.
That's a bad team.
Are they?
Yes.
So then you're telling me the Chargers are bad.
You just told me Tannehill was the best quarterback in the league this week.
I told you he was ranked number 1 based on his stats.
No, I know.
I don't believe he's the
I
best
didn't say you
quarterback.
believe, but that's what the metrics say.
That
he
is what the metrics say. 20 of 24, yeah.
I
Played
guess
better than anybody.
The
He's a game
part of
manager.
it that I hate is they win a game that they shouldn't have, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And now I feel like they're doing the Titan thing. They're hanging around. They're playing close
Isn't
games.
this what we said they would do?
But,
No, I thought they would stink. Like I truly thought they would stink.
I think we couched the stink point because of Vrabel. Vrabel's going to get as much out of that team as possible.
Yeah.
But what we don't know is Tannehill week 1 or week 2 Tannehill.
I think it's both.
Can Derrick Henry carry it 40 times a game if you need him?
I don't think he can.
And is DeAndre Hopkins going to show up week to week and be the old guy or the old guy?
This is what makes them confusing. Brent.
DeAndre is an interesting
But
point
they are
here.
going to win 7 games at least. That's not confusing to me. Like, they are not going 4 and whatever.
Yeah.
They're going to be in this thing in middle of December.
DeAndre is already DeAndreing, and I love DeAndre Hopkins, but he pulled this in Arizona. He was pulling it in Houston, too. So he's got an ankle injury right now. He doesn't practice all week and then shows up to play on game day and has a decent game. Or at a minimum, gets attention off of Treylon Burks and some of the other no-name receivers on the team. But this is a guy that'll probably be injured throughout the entire year and play through it.
Shocker.
So, like, what are you going to get out of DeAndre? Because it's not going to be DeAndre from 5 years ago. I still think he's going to have a good season. He's like one of their only options. And Tannehill can still throw the ball. But they really have not been able to use Derrick Henry well this year. 2 games in.
Who is going to be more of a factor when it comes to the AFC South? The Titans or the Colts?
Titans.
Texans.
No, they're
Titans. I believe the Colts can be a good team. I don't think they will be this year, between the fact that Richardson is going to make bad decisions when he comes back inevitably because he is a rookie, even though he's shown some splash plays. The fact that he's already hurt himself twice in 2 games means that he'll probably get hurt again this season because he's thrown himself out there. Minshew played very, very well. Do you believe Minshew can carry that team to an AFC South crown? I'm not sure that I do.
Well, I'm not really talking about AFC South. I don't think both of those teams are good enough to win the AFC South. I don't. I think the Jags are still good enough, and I think their defense has shown that they're even better than we thought, and their offense is going to score at some point. I don't know how long it's going to take, but they're going to score. I think it's more about who's going to be in the mix. Like I said, I think the bottom line for Titans, they're going to get 7 wins at least, and they're going to be in the mix. The Colts showed in week 1 that they could be a little bit of a threat, and then they had a nice performance despite Anthony Richardson going out, and he was on his way to a pretty good performance anyway before he went out against Houston. I didn't really know how that game was going to go. So I just don't know. Like, I really don't know, but I would say I felt all along the ability to win games is better with Minshew than it is with Anthony Richardson. And so with Minshew now in there, and how long is he going to be in there? And if they do win a game or 2 with him in there, will they keep him in there?
I don't think you have a good sample for the Colts to judge who they are. They played a clunky Jags offense week 1. Defense had to work extra hard to stop them at 21 or whatever the score was that they had. They played Houston week 2, biggest point differential in the South. Like, they're just figuring it out. I want to see the Colts play a couple of established teams with rosters and veterans, and then you go, all right, maybe this team has something.
Let's see. The Texans obviously come to Jacksonville this week. The Titans go to Cleveland. A game they certainly could win if they play like they did last week. The Colts go to Baltimore.
That's a game. That's what I'm talking about. They win at Baltimore.
Now you believe
that's a big statement.
At Baltimore.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they will either. But if they do, that's a statement game.
If they win at Baltimore, we got a problem.
Big problem.
We got a serious, massive problem that we didn't think we were going to have.
Well, and then the following week, though, just for reference, the Rams go to Indy.
Ugh.
And the Bengals go to Tennessee. With or without Joe Burrow, all that stuff.
Ugh.
Again, like this first month of the year, like I could see the Jags being 3-1 and the rest of that division being 1-3, and now I'm not so sure I feel that way about the Colts and the Titans.
The Jags, I'd make fun of me if you want, must win against Houston. I don't care what you say. 2 in London. Weird stuff happened in the South. They have to beat the Houston
Earliest
Texans.
must-win game in
the
franchise
history. Well, actually, week 1 this year was a must-win. But week 3, must win for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Laugh if you want, it's true.
They got to stay in control of the division, right? They need to be the team in control of the division. I hear what you're saying there.
Yeah, you do.
We'll talk more about that. Best and worst of Sunday for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We go there when we come back next on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly sunny again, warm with comfortable humidity today. Highs will be in the mid to upper 80s. 80s to 70s this evening, mostly clear and dry. Overnight down into the upper 60s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Beaton-Ball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop and compare and save thousands at Beard's Diamonds.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Tune into our high-energy, multi-platform show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690 and a variety of video streaming platforms as well. As the seasons change, so do the sports topics. It's football season now, and we're bringing you all things sports weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. And you can tailgate with us at the Duval House for every Sunday home game this football season. Fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. Live fit.
Denise is a Pilates instructor and a small business owner.
And a mom, too.
And at Community First, we get that. We get you.
So you can just be yourself.
To get the financial services you need, learn more at communityfirstfl.org. Member NCUA.
Best Bet is number one. That's right. Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park have one card poker, the fastest and easiest card game to learn and play. Play against a designated player, one card at a time, and the highest card wins even money. If the card values are the same, it's time for war. Just like the game you remember. You must be 18 years or older to play. More at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
It's fantasy football like you've never played it before. You love fantasy football, right? Of course you do. Do you like competing? Yeah. You like winning? Absolutely. It's Fantasy Card Breaks with Davoli's House of Cards. You don't know your team until you open the pack of cards. There's curiosity, competition, and collecting prizes. Visit Davoli's House of Cards off 210 in St. Johns County or just visit fantasycardbreaks.com. Fantasy football like you've never played it before with Davoli's House of Cards. FantasyCardBreaks.com.
Are you searching for your next great ride? Then I've got great news for you. Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned has just announced an unbeatable inventory of over 500 used vehicles all in one place. I'm talking cars under $18,000, over 200 SUVs, and more than 100 pickup trucks. Even better, right now get no payments until January 2024. Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/offers for full details.
Supermarkets and stores need to keep you safe. So if you get hurt anywhere by anything, you could have a case. Morgan & Morgan makes starting a claim easy. And it's free. You only pay if you win your case. Price check.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The downsides to a 401k are limited investment options. What we'll find, and nothing against anybody who's doing it. Listen, if I wasn't an investment advisor, I might even be doing the same thing. But lots of target date funds. We don't like the target date funds because they only take into consideration the date. They don't take into consideration anything else. I think they give investors in retirement plans a false sense of security.
More at guardingyournestegg.com.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth, an SEC registered investment advisor. Florida license D056341.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis.
Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690, and you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. Welcome back, Brent Friends on ESPN 690 here on a Tuesday. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kuhrts. A lot of NFL talk, of course. It's kind of what we do. Maybe a little college moment or two on the way. Deion just keeps getting the headlines, man. It's unbelievable. I mean, I think they'll study this last couple of months in marketing classes and branding classes around the country and college campuses. It's been amazing. So we'll talk a little bit more about Deion. Is he the biggest figure in sports right now?
Maybe, yeah. If Colorado continues to win, for sure.
Yeah.
It's on 60 Minutes the other day.
Saw that. Didn't watch. Just saw the preview.
Yeah, just amazing.
Ain't nothing for me to watch 60 Minutes.
One thing I like to do after a few, like a day passes with the Jags, best and worst of Sunday.
Oh, boy.
On a football standpoint, though, it got hot and
$11 water.
It was expensive to get water. $11 water. I know there's some of that, but
that's awful.
I mean, what is the best takeaway from Sunday for the Jacksonville Jaguars, even in a loss?
I think you're starting to see that the defense might be better than you thought they were.
Agreed.
And that's great news for a team that has playoff aspirations.
Off of that point, I would say I think Andre Cisco might be a star.
I like where you're going with that. Every time I see Cisco's name now, I'm like, man, here he comes. Mm-hmm. This is what we're talking about. Like, this is right. Good.
He's a ball hawk.
I was telling Kasey, when we were talking about the game on Friday's edition of Monday's Brent Friends.
Yes.
I mentioned that Cisco seemed like he hung up in the air for like 7 seconds on that pick.
He was soaring, flying.
You know what? I don't think you look at Cisco and you're like, wow, this guy is a high-flying athlete. It looks more like a physical presence to me,
play
right?
Head stick, yeah.
But, man, he does. He's got some great athleticism, which, I mean, you have to be to play in this league. But that was a great illustration of it. He came flying out of nowhere. And I think Kasey said it yesterday. He could easily have himself another 3-4 picks in his career already.
He could. Tell you what, he's going to lead the league in the history of interceptions the hard way by dropping 4.
Yeah.
So, at this point, he didn't play his rookie year hardly at all. So you're like 2 seasons in. What? He has 4 or 5 interceptions?
And I tell you what, from a rarity standpoint, that's a tough position to find stars in. And so if the Jags have one, that's a hell of a get. I'm going to say it's obviously a piggyback off the defense, right?
There's no offensive things to.
I have one.
But
really?
Yep.
Well, you could go one. The piggyback for me is more on Mike Caldwell. Because I think there are times that we've covered the Jags a lot of different times where we don't know the identity of their football team. The identity of this football team, we still believe, if you had to bet on it, would be their offense. It's Doug Peterson. It's Trevor Lawrence. But you can break that down further and say, what's your identity of the offense? And what's your identity of the defense? And I will tell you this because I know it clear as day. After watching Mike Caldwell's defense play for 19 games in the regular season and a couple of playoff games, they will get the football. Their identity is to get the football. And everybody wants that to be their identity.
Of course, yeah.
Everybody also says stop the run, but you don't want it to be your identity that you stop the run. You want it to be that we get turnovers.
But they do stop the run.
They do stop the run, too. They do other things well. Their secondary is probably underrated right now 2 weeks into the season.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But what I do know going back to last year when even some of these metrics and numbers said, hey, they're not very good in this and that and this, they are going to find a way to make you make a mistake and give it back to their offense. They did it last year. They were top 5 in the NFL. And here we go right away. What are they now? 6 turnovers in, I think, in 2 games, if you count the special teams turnover. So 6 turnovers, 6 takeaways already for this Jacksonville Jaguars team. Sure, you want to question how many sacks they're going to get? That's still probably going to be a question. They're 5 into 2 games. That's a decent start. But they're going to stop the run? Yeah, I think so. Most of the time, they're going to stop the run. I can tell you now after 21 games, Mike Caldwell is a defensive coordinator. Even when things weren't going great, they are going to get the football. And everybody wants to be that. And that's what makes this defense opportunistic, almost fun to watch. They have playmakers that know how to get the football. That's the best thing, I think, coming out of Sunday. Because if you can get it from Kansas City, you can get it from anybody.
Yeah, that's true.
What's the worst? Or you want to give me a best on the offense? Just as
what you want.
That's what I want.
Secondary prize here?
I think you know what you didn't think you knew coming into the season, but you thought might be the case. You saw 6 total starts from Walker Little before the season started, and you go, I think he's consistent and good, but you just don't have a big enough sample. And here we are, another 2 starts into the year, and he looks as advertised. This is a consistent guy who will play good offensive line for you nearly wherever you put him.
That's a good point.
Walker Little right now, I saw this morning again, very small sample when you're starting the year with 2. A lot of numbers can skew.
Sure.
Right? But right now, I think he's a top 3. I think I saw a top 5 left tackle in the National Football League, given the way the metrics are shaken out.
How about it?
He's a really good football player.
Good one.
PFF says he's ranked 12th in the league.
Oh, is that what they say?
That's what PFF says.
12. At left tackle or offensive line?
At all tackles, right and left.
Oh. Really?
By the way, Cisco ranked 8th in the league.
Safeties.
Yeah.
But let's dissect a little more on Walker Little. This is a guy that doesn't play after being drafted 2nd round, 45th overall. Hadn't played in years. Hadn't played because of injury. Hadn't played because of COVID.
It had been 3 years.
And
wild.
Doesn't really play his first year because they've got other guys there. He had to make that one start, I think, for Cam Robinson, who in warm-ups decided he couldn't go, right? It was something.
Wasn't it the Buffalo game?
I think it was.
Yeah.
So comes in, does a great job.
And
Like
they
on,
won.
and not like a day notice or 2 days notice or 3 days notice, like on an hour's notice.
Like 8 minutes. They're like, hey, strap up.
Then he goes and plays right tackle
Yes, correct.
a bit. Then he comes back and plays left tackle for a postseason run with the Jags and does an admirable job.
Holds his own.
And don't forget the part where he played right and left tackle in the same game.
In the same game.
Down the stretch of a game they had to win.
Then
And
this
they
year, cross-trains into even playing a guard position where the Jags are trying to hey, we got to get this dude on the field, and if it has to be at left guard, that's where we're going to put him when Cam Robinson comes back, and hopefully our rookie, Anton Harrison's fantastic.
He's earned it.
That's a heck of a story, Walker Little is, and anytime they call his number, he seems to deliver. Is he a Hall of Famer? I'm not telling you that. But this is a guy that's a really good football player and now becomes part of that very good 2021 class and an important part of that class.
I think it's another example of opportunity being key, right? We were talking before the show, me and Kasey were about Puka Nacua and how this guy is just lighting up all the record books right now as a young rookie wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams. No one knew the guy's name outside of Kasey Kuhrts.
Thank you.
And then suddenly, now he's on every sports center talking about Puka Nacua. But here's the thing. If he was on a team like the Jaguars, he'd probably be a 5th wide receiver and he wouldn't be getting playing time.
Yeah.
But he would have made the team.
So here's Walker Little. If Walker Little was on the Jets, he may damn well be a Pro Bowler at this point.
Oh, they would kill for Walker Little.
But now he's sitting behind guys. Well, not this year, but on a regular basis had been sitting behind guys. You're trying to get him on the field with opportunity. He's really showing that he's out there earning it. Got to love Walker Little this year.
Give me the worst.
The other offensive linemen.
All 4 of them?
Oh, yes. I think it's awful. I think it's real bad. I
Do you think
it's the worst.
Forker's bad?
Shoot.
I don't really notice him. When I see the metrics at the end the next day and it's like 3 pressures, I was like, I don't know. I didn't really see that.
I don't know if he's good.
We've talked about Barch yesterday. He's been disappointing. I really think the problem right now is the rookie more than anybody else. I don't think he's playing well.
I honestly believe it goes that way. Like, I'm starting at the right tackle. I think that's the biggest problem. Then right guard, then center, and then Barch, to be honest.
Yeah, some people
Which isn't good.
Picking on Barch during the game like he's not good. Like, I don't see that as loud as some other people do. You see what you want to see sometimes, too.
That's fair.
All right, so offensive line.
I think their right side is a problem.
Aaron, I don't know if you would say, is their right side the problem or is their interior the problem? Like, it could be multiple choice here.
All of the above is the answer. I don't care what combination you give me of what's the worst. It's all of the above is the answer.
What you got for the worst, Aaron?
There's a lot to choose from. I don't know. When I start thinking about the worst, I start thinking immediately of offensive line for the sake of the fact that we just talked about it. I'll go to the fact that the running game seems lost, or at least it did last week. You really have to get that right. You can't rely on Trevor to throw the ball on every down. They're going to start defending against it, and it's going to be really hard to move the ball at all, even with your high-powered wide receivers.
I'm going to stay away from what some of the obvious from that game was, and I'm going to group them all together as good as that 21 class is. The 23 class is off to a rocky start. Anton Harrison has not been good in these 2 games.
He has not.
Brenton Strange, I mean, I thought he did really well actually in the first game. I don't know if he was even on the field in the second game, didn't notice much. The third game, Bigsby, there's issues. I mean, there are issues if it's 1st and goal at the 1 and you don't want to give it to him.
That's wild.
There's issues if in the second quarter the first guy in is Dearness Johnson and not the guy you drafted in the 3rd round. Like, right now, there are early issues. Are they unsolvable issues? No. I'm not giving up on the guy. I don't think they'll give up on the guy. I'm just telling you right now, 2 weeks in, it doesn't look good for the guy. Antonio Johnson, who a lot of people think would be good or could be good, he's been on the shelf. So, I mean, nobody's fault there, just hasn't been playing.
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody in the rookie class doing anything? Hodges, who was promising, hurt.
Tyler Lacey, Abdullah,
I mean, again, nothing. I mean,
nothing. I saw him on the field.
Yeah.
He was out there, I can confirm.
Who's the fourth-round pick for the Jags? Who am I missing there?
Who are you missing?
At 13 draft picks. And right now, I don't know if any of them are doing anything in a positive way. And I don't know. Like, Brenton Strange just might be a bit unfair. Maybe he's doing better things. Again, week 1 good, week 2, That's inconsistencies of a rookie potentially. Not giving up on him.
Lacey was their fourth.
Oh, Lacey was the fourth. Okay. He's been a little banged up too. But the bottom line is, right now, they are getting 0.
No, they're getting negative.
From their 2023 class.
If you graded the whole thing out, they would get a negative because of the tank play. Like, just to be real with you.
And here's the other part of it. If you want to take the first 3 rounds of this draft, you could question every pick.
Yeah.
You could question every single pick. And if you want to then piggyback on top of it, depending on what camp you are with Trayvon Walker in 2022.
Ranked 17th on the team in defensive PFF score right now.
You can.
Out of 22.
Who, Trayvon?
Yeah.
On the team?
Really?
On the team. Out of
See, I don't see that.
Yeah.
I think Trayvon's playing better than people want to give him credit for.
He's got a tremendous tackling grade from PFF, but they don't like his rush defense so far this year, and they think his pass rush is mediocre. 62.
Huh. That's so surprising. Again, my eyes tell me a different story. I think even Doug pointed him out again yesterday as a guy that was playing well. So I think they feel that way. And again, PFF isn't gospel.
Sure.
But
2 weeks in, I got no beef with Trayvon. Like,
I really don't either, but I think people always will until they see him dominate a game, Kasey.
Well, sure.
Well, especially when you juxtapose the fact. Let me ask this. Do you guys know who the leader in the entire NFL in quarterback pressures is right now?
Pressures?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had like crazy. Oh, Arden Key.
It's Aiden Hutchinson.
Oh, Hutchinson has in pressures,
Leading
but he has 0 sacks.
0 sacks.
0 sacks. Because he's getting double and triple teamed at this point.
Please tell me Arden Key is not in second.
Well, Arden Key was first in week 1.
He was in pressure win rate.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did you see the win rate on Chris Jones?
72.5%.
Yep. 72.5%. Listen,
right.
Chris Jones is a good player. He ain't that good.
Nope.
That's why I'm telling you, we got a problem up front.
TJ Watt did not have that kind of win rate or even close to it yesterday. Like, you know, I really watched Watt because he always eventually gets to the court, made the big play, right? But there's so many plays he does absolutely nothing on. Like, he really doesn't, whether the offense is doing a good job against him or he's just taking a little break or he doesn't do anything. But again, he is that splash guy. And that's what people want to see out of a guy like Trayvon and Josh Allen for that matter. Like, get the splash play. And the Jags don't really have a lot of that. Jan was so good at that in Jacksonville. Jan was okay, and then boom, forced fumble, strip sack, game over type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Jags really still don't have that guy, or at least proven to be that guy. That's what they're missing. Yeah. Well, can Trayvon become that? Like, Trayvon, I think, you know what would be awesome for Trayvon? For at least the people that think he's better than other people think he is? He's off to, I think, a decent start in these 2 games. Can he have a monster game against Houston? Like, could he go have the 2.5, 3 sack game against Houston?
Who, by the way, their tackles are not healthy. Both starting tackles didn't play last weekend and then questionable for this.
That's what everybody in Jacksonville's waiting for, is to have that dominant game. Can he do it? Now, he might not have Josh on the other side. We'll see. So,
got Caleb Von Chase on out there.
Just when things were looking promising.
We'll be back. Brent Friends on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
Hey y'all, this is 17-time PGA Tour winner Jim Furyk inviting you to the 3rd annual Constellation Furyk and Friends presented by Circle K this October 2nd to 8th at Timuquana Country Club. Be sure to check out college football and your Jaguars on the Jumbotrons and the Publix Tailgate Village, Birdie Beers at Circle K Party Porch, the ViStar Patriots Outpost, and more. Grab your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com to see the legends of the game compete for a spot in the PGA Tour Champions playoffs. Don't forget Ticketmaster.com to get your tickets today.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Tune into our high-energy, multi-platform show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690 in a variety of video streaming platforms as well. As the seasons change, so do the sports topics. It's football season now, and we're bringing you all things sports weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. And you can tailgate with us at the Duval House for every Sunday home game this football season. Fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. Live fit.
Hey guys, it's me, Pete the Job Guy. You know you listen to my show every weekend, but listen, if you need staffing assistance of any kind, you call the good folks at Ascendo Resources. My co-host Angie Langlois and I'm Pete Langlois or Pete the Job Guy. Just reach out to me, Pete at PeteTheJobGuy.com, and I can guarantee you there hasn't been a qualified candidate genocide. We know where they're at, and we can fill your open jobs. Ha ha!
Why can't I just speak to an actual human being? I need a new bank.
Well, actually, at One-to-One Financial, communication is not only number one, it's one-to-one. When you call, you get to talk to a real live Jacksonville human, fast, and with someone who's truly concerned about your needs, your security, and finding solutions as a team.
Thank you.
Ready to break up with your bank? Find a real, long-term banking relationship at One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit one-to-onefcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA. It's fantasy football like you've never played it before. You love fantasy football, right? Of course you do. Do you like competing? Yeah. You like winning? Absolutely. It's Fantasy Card Breaks with Davoli's House of Cards. You don't know your team until you open the pack of cards. There's curiosity, competition, and collecting prizes. Visit Davoli's House of Cards off 210 in St. Johns County, or just visit fantasycardbreaks.com. Fantasy football like you've never played it before with Davoli's House of Cards. fantasycardbreaks.com.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides 24/7 compassionate support and connection to trained counselors. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. The Lifeline works. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, just call, text, or chat 988.
Stay with ESPN 690 for your chance to see and hear our special events in the Farah and Farah Performance Studio throughout 2023. Powered by Farah and Farah and ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Brent Friends on ESPN 690. I'm going to rename the show Kuhrts and Friends, apparently.
Kuhrts and Friends. He's carrying us.
Listen, boys, all I'm saying is if we're talking about what's been popping on social.
What has been popping on social, Case? Tell the folks.
It sounds like the Buda Baker clip. That was Kasey. It sounds like the Florida Georgia clip. That was Kasey. The punchline, the moment that everyone's like, yeah, you're right, that's Kasey.
It is what the people are talking about. They say, you want a splash moment on TikTok in a talk radio setting, specifically about sports. Go to your man, Kasey Kuhrts.
All I'm saying is I'm carrying it, and I don't see you guys. You guys know.
Well, you don't see us because we're on your shoulders, Case.
Carrying.
Yeah.
Kevin says we need to stop the PFF stuff.
I agree with Kevin.
They're so inconsistent, and most former players disagree with their ratings.
Yes, Kevin. Yes.
I wouldn't call them I would call them very consistent, but I understand why former players disagree with the ratings.
Even their pressure and tackle stats are out of whack with official NFL stats. Again, it's a big thing that's out there, but it's unreliable.
That's a great
Kevin.
call,
But by the way,
there's
they're
two
not
out of
the only
three of us
ones.
that we don't even like to mention the word PFF.
Well, Casey doesn't. I do because I paid for it.
Now,
so
there's one guy that absolutely loves it, and we think is being paid by them.
Yeah.
But I will say this, they're not the only outlet to have different numbers than the official NFL stats.
By the way,
lots of folks who do stats and metrics have different numbers.
I think every time we bring it up, it's with a grain of salt. And I think everybody does. Like, hey, it's just another metric out there. There are a lot of them, to your point. And it's interesting to see sometimes they line up and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they line up to what your eyes say and sometimes they don't. And I will say this, Kevin. I've been doing this for a long time, and when you go talk to people inside the building, like you do a Monday show here on ESPN 690, and you have these thoughts coming off the game, and then maybe you go talk to people inside the building, and you'll hear some stuff like, without even bringing it up, okay, that is not what we were just talking about for 3 hours on Monday. Like, they have a totally different perspective on it, and I'm not even telling you that theirs is right. and ours is wrong or the fans are wrong or whatever. I'm just telling you there are spins and perspectives on this, and that's why I do say a lot in our business. But even from a fan perspective, people see what they want to see and hear what they want to hear. And right now, I said this to that stat boy yesterday on Twitter, people are seeing what they want to see and hearing what they want to hear on Trayvon Walker. Because if you really look at it, I believe he is doing things better than last year. He is looking like he's starting to take a bit of a leap. Is he wrecking games? No, because that's what people want to see. So until they see him wreck a game, they're not going to admit that he's getting better. It's not good enough for them.
I've admitted it, Brent.
Kasey, this one's a banger.
BM23, my guy.
23!
That was a passionate response to Kevin on BM.
Kevin, congratulations. You had your own segment on Brent Friends.
Hey,
and you know,
listen. We'll give you a segment if you listen here on the show.
You know what my favorite part about BM23 is?
What's that?
It's super short. Let's wrap this thing up, fellas.
Football at 5 next on ESPN 690.
Many of us enjoy being DIYers. Do you really need a financial advisor for retirement? Or can you just do that yourself too?
I wondered about that.
Well, it depends. Have the Talon Wealth team create a comprehensive financial plan personalized for you at no cost. Then you can compare what you're doing to what's possible with a team of fiduciaries on your side.
Okay.
Schedule now at guardingyournestegg.com.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC registered investment advisor. Florida license D056341.
There are not many things that can actually change your life. Well, I'm not exaggerating when I say this. QC Kinetics can change your life. You can live again without that chronic joint pain and without drugs or surgery. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. QC Kinetics is advanced regenerative medicine. They take your body's own concentrated healing properties, put them right into your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue that's causing all of that horrible pain. The patient satisfaction reports are amazing. Finally, a real alternative to the old ways of dealing with pain. And unlike surgery, there's no downtime with QC treatments. If you have constant pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or back, you need to call and get a free consultation, 904-274-5522. A free consultation from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics today, 904-274-5522. Imagine this, moving around pain-free, doing the things you love again, walking, hiking, playing with the grandkids. Do it all with QC Kinetics and see how the latest advances in precision regenerative medicine can attack your pain and bring you lasting relief. 904-274-5522.
Two roads diverged into a steamy, hot northeast Florida summer. One road led to a home AC system that's unreliable and inefficient. It was fated to fail swiftly. The other road led to a home that's efficiently and dependably cool. Its AC was a mechanical marvel, destined to be a lasting refuge against summer's scorching siege.
Time to take the road most traveled by your neighbors for over 60 years, Hammond Air Conditioning. Hammond is North Florida's most trusted authority for air conditioning services. And with Hammond, your home is never a learning opportunity for inexperienced techs. Hammond's veteran specialists understand how to make a system operate perfectly in our Northeast Florida heat. And they know how to extract all the potential from a modern high-efficiency system. That means they'll design a system perfect for you, one that fits to the temperature you want and will save you money on your electric bills. Right now, get a brand new high-efficiency system for as low as $70 per month, and that's with a 10-year warranty. Go to hammondair.com.
Back to college, back to the gym, or back-to-back meetings. Cosmic Vibe, Oasis Vibe, Fantasy Vibe, Arctic Vibe, Peach Vibe. Northeast Florida is getting back into the routine with Celsius Essential Energy Drinks.
Jay is a foodie and a chef.
I'm a food truck owner with dreams of something bigger.
And at Community First, we get that. And we get you. We were founded over 88 years ago to help members live their best lives by providing the financial services they need. Today, that includes digital banking, great rates, and local decision-making.
So just be yourself.
At Community First and on the go. Learn more at communityfirstfl.org. Member NCUA.
Are you passionate about addressing health disparities in our community? Raise funds for life-saving research and inspire change for the chance to be named the American Heart Association's First Coast Leaders of Impact winner. Contact AHA First Coast at heart.org to nominate yourself or a local changemaker.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Colorado football coach Deion Sanders today condemned the death threats against Colorado State defensive back Henry Blackburn for his illegal hit that sent Buffalo's two-way star Travis Hunter to the hospital. Sanders said Blackburn was just playing the game of football, should not be receiving death threats. He's a kid. Hunter is out at least for Saturday's game against 10th-ranked Oregon with a lacerated liver. In the wake of the season-ending injury to All-Pro running back Nick Chubb, Jerome Ford, now the Browns' featured running back. Without Chubb, Cleveland's $230 million quarterback Deshaun Watson needs to step up, says ESPN's Herm Edwards.
He's your guy. You're going to have to open it up some, spread him out, let him run some RPOs, let him, create some with his legs, get the ball, obviously, to People Jones, throw the ball with him a little bit more than you would run it. You still have Ford, but I think it has to go through the quarterback now. That's why you brought him there.
Giants running back Saquon Barkley with a sprained ankle will be a game-time decision Thursday night at San Francisco, according to coach Brian Dable.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000 as ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. Sponsored by Arlington Toyota with over 800 new and used vehicles available.
Enter the word GRAND at ESPN690.com. That's GRAND by 15 past the hour.
Your next chance to win $1,000 and have ESPN 690 pay your bills happens tomorrow morning at 8. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply.
I was crossing the street when I met the love of my life. I chased after her. Nothing would stand in my way. Not the dog walker, nor the hot dog vendor. Finally reaching her, I asked, "What do you call that amazing smell?"
It's Gain Flings.
Gain Flings. My love had a name, but more importantly, it had a scent.
Fall in love with Gain Flings. Seriously good scent. Gain Flings with 50% more freshness ingredients versus leading bargain detergent.
Hey, did you know Vistaprint prints everything a small business needs? Like if a barbershop needs signage, we print outdoor signs, posters, and banners. Or if a ballet school needs merch,
1, 2,
we print tote bags, t-shirts, hoodies, hats. Or if a coffee shop needs a total refresh,
latte for Mike?
Vistaprint designs logos and prints it on menus, mugs, paper bags, anything. Because with Vistaprint, the printabilities are endless. Print it all with 25% off for new customers with code NEW25 at Vistaprint.com.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me.
Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kuhrts. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Tell you one thing, we were just talking about the Chubb injury and then some other injuries. These dudes are tough, man. They're not the only one in sports that are tough, but it's just crazy. Probably the pain that they put up with to play. Always said it. I got a ton of respect for all athletes, but I just feel like football's
not surfers, Brian. I brought up the surfers
yeah,
earlier.
I don't really have a ton of respect for the surfers from a toughness standpoint.
Are you kidding me, Brett?
I mean, listen, dude.
Brett,
you're the one that went in the Shark Tank. All right. I mean, if you want to go in the Shark Tank, that's on you,
Brent.
No, I question your
Shark Tank
psychology of it all. But
this guy, you had no idea what's in the ocean. They're going in there. Come on, Brent.
Not alone. A lot of people do. I do think it would be really cool to be able to surf, though, like at a high level.
No respect for him, but I wish I could do it.
There are people who do it.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, of things that you'd want to be able to do. Like,
surfing's pretty high on your list, huh?
I've been surfing. It was pretty much a disaster for me.
You didn't surf.
I've never tried to surf.
Absolutely. I used to boogie board constantly as a kid.
That's
you
not
kidding
surfing.
me?
That's
And
not
then you
surfing.
I know. And then you try surfing. It's like the evolution.
Oh, I got you.
And so I went surfing, but the problem is you use a lot more of that core while surfing than you would think.
And you were out.
Oh, boy, was I out. First of all, just getting to stand up on the board is really tough.
Closest thing I've ever done to surfing is paddleboarding.
Oh, paddleboard. I thought you said battleboarding.
So did
I was
I.
like, what is that? Sounds fun.
Paddleboarding.
Paddleboarding's good.
Which you could kind of morph into battleboarding if you
Well,
wanted
battleboarding's the most dangerous sport outside of football.
I got the gnarliest.
bullfighting.
I can't forget about that. I got the gnarliest sunburn paddleboarding the first and last time I went. And I'm convinced when I eventually have some sort of skin cancer, it will trace back to that moment in which I was bright red for days.
Maybe it will. Say it happens when you're younger. That's where it all starts.
Well, I'll be
I
sure to
think
let
I
you guys
will,
know in the next 20.
As I get even older than I already am, I think I'll do more paddleboarding. I kind of want to own a paddleboard.
Paddleboard is definitely like, I know people who are younger than this do this, but when I think paddleboarding, I think a fit 50 to 55-year-old guy
Yes.
living in Florida.
Yeah, that's me.
100%. And Brent, not to like spread your business, but you could get a paddleboard at any time you wanted.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
I know.
You're not strapped for paddleboard funds.
No, I know. They're reasonable.
Buy a Brent Friends paddleboard.
You would.
Don't
That's
get me
the-
18
Don't get
paddleboard.
me thinking about it. I'll start to label that sucker up
Yeah,
right
you
now,
would.
man.
Throw a DeBolli's logo on it, write it off.
Who's sponsor? That's it. I'm going to the beach tomorrow and finding a sponsor. That's awesome. The reason I don't or haven't gotten a paddleboard is one,
No paddle time.
no paddle time and no paddle place nearby.
It's like Batman.
Right?
Yeah. Same
Same
paddle
bad
talent,
time.
same
Same-
paddle place.
So I think someday it will happen, but not anytime soon.
Everyone's got a dream, Brent.
That's very
Yours
true.
is paddleboard.
Can you think of a sport, seriously, that you would like to be able to do at a high level that doesn't, like, you can play football in the backyard, you can play
100%.
baseball, you can play golf. Like, these are sports we can all play to at least. I'm talking about a sport that you really can't play, that you're not good at or you've never tried, that would be really cool to be good at.
Absolutely.
I mean, all of them would be cool to be good at.
I mean, I agree with that. Curling.
But see, you that's fine as your answer, but you really could do that.
Yeah, I feel like you could too. You got all this power in your legs. You got
Thank you.
big shoulders. Like, I feel
Sheesh.
like you'd be good at it.
Holy cow. Really?
Just throwing
That
some
was-
compliments out here. That's all.
We
Thanks,
have this
man.
window right here that we can't even see him in, and that's what you get?
Thank you, Aaron. I needed that today.
I'm just saying, it seems like you got to do a lot of arm work, the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know, you gotta scrub. So maybe you're not the gentle giant throwing the, what is it called? The stone.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not the gentle giant rolling the stone out, but you're one of the sweepers, back and forth, back and forth.
The problem is I don't want to be a sweeper. I want to be the stone.
But look, man, we can't all be the starting pitcher, all right? Someone's got to be a sweeper.
See, this, do you remember, like, last year they were doing curling at the Igloo and I wanted us
Yes,
to go
yes.
and we didn't go?
Yeah, that was Brent's fault.
That sucked, guys. We could have been, because here's the thing about curling,
They'll come
right?
back.
And great. Great. We won't go then either, Brent.
Sound like I'm talking to my kids.
Awesome.
They'll come back, relax.
Like curling.
Disney on Ice.
Yes, exactly.
Never mind.
It's literally the conversation I had with them about Paw Patrol last week. This is what it was.
I really want to get, you don't want to keep going, Kasey? Can I talk or what?
Nah, go.
You want to go? Come on, finish it off.
No.
I really want to hire somebody just that goes back through our videos and finds the Aaron faces.
Which one did you like, the back and forth?
The back and forth moment was
real
pretty
jiggly
good.
if you were watching.
It's real jiggly. Yeah, it kind of was.
Every rounded point on my body swaying back and forth with me.
Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kuhrts, Brent Friends on ESPN 690. How about Kevin, who we just gave his own segment to?
No.
He replies, wait, you guys just came back from break, and now you're playing the break music.
Yeah, that's what happened.
It was a short segment. Kevin, it was a short segment, but you got the whole damn thing. I mean, what else do you want?
And now you're spilling into 5A, which was
I
not
know.
planned.
He even says, and I don't know what the hell he's saying here, you guys just commercial kickoff commercialed me.
Meanwhile,
Oh,
Kevin's
that's what
got
he's
more
saying.
time on the air today than Mahomes' extension got yesterday.
That's a good point.
I know what he's saying now. That's like starting the football game with the
Little
kickoff.
bit.
Yeah, I get it.
The pregame before
Speaking
the
of a
pregame.
guy who has no problem getting airtime right now,
Kasey.
Deion Sanders. It's unbelievable.
I haven't watched the 60 Minutes interview.
I didn't watch it either.
Okay.
But the fact that he's on 60 Minutes, and now every commercial I feel like Deion is in.
Well, like the big story today is the fact that the guy who hit Travis Hunter is getting death threats. So Deion has come out and made a statement.
And it was I almost tweeted this, but I saved it for the show instead. It was very well done by Deion. Travis Hunter did it yesterday, and he basically said, it's football, man. And, I mean, the hit, if you didn't see it, I'm sure you've heard it. Well, I don't know. You can debate it, right? It depends what lens you're looking at it through. Like, I don't really have a lens on it. I don't care about Colorado State or Colorado. I thought it was a cheap hit. But there are plenty of cheap hits that happen, and especially in rivalry games, in a violent sport,
There was almost
when
a fight
you know
before
you're
the game
trying to
with these
send
guys,
a
yeah.
message.
Yeah.
Like, this
Now-
is a team that was a 20-something point underdog trying to send a message. Like, I think we see that in sports. Now, was that the right message to send? Probably not. You can hurt people doing that stuff. He did hurt someone. I don't know if he regrets it or not, but I'm just telling you, I like the way Colorado's handled it. It's football. That stuff happens. We're probably going to have a guy on our team somewhere across the calendar year that does this or something close to it to somebody else, and it happens in the game, right? Deion really did a nice job today where he basically protects the kid who's getting death threats and everything. He says there's no place for that, man. He's a young guy trying to figure things out. Even if he made a mistake, if that's how you view it, he's a young guy trying to figure things out. I thought Deion was sensational in that moment. And you know what? Everybody's listening to Deion right now. He's got all eyes on him. So good for him to handle it that way instead of exacerbating the moment into something more.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I didn't know how Deion was going to handle it.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't think he would throw the kid under the bus. I did think I thought it was a dirty hit, a cheap hit, but I was kind of impressed at the skill level of it. Kind of sneaks around the other defender so he could blindside the kid. And I'm like, you have to be kind of fast and time that up nicely. So if he could actually use that prowess for legal hits, it might have been a different story for this kid out of Colorado State. But I didn't think Deion was going to throw the kid under the bus by any stretch.
I didn't either.
You didn't?
No, it's a kid. I think he's still. I would have been surprised.
Well, I don't know what he said.
Deion's all about the kids.
I thought it would have come after the game, like with the emotions and everything else. So I didn't know how. I didn't even hear a soundbite that day. So this comes days later, obviously
That
on
I
the
would've
heels of
bought,
the
though.
death
I would've
threats
bought
and
that from
everything else,
Deion.
because your emotions are running high.
You could be like, oh, this was despicable. We shouldn't be hitting people like I could have seen that happen.
If I'm a Colorado Buffalo fan,
yeah,
I understand why they're upset. This is a very good player. They're about to play their two toughest games maybe of the season coming up, and he's also in the Heisman conversation based off the start of his year.
Well, not anymore.
And now, well, that rules that out. But also, you're not going to be as dangerous when you go play Oregon and USC now. So I get the frustration from it. It's not – I didn't think it was like the dirtiest hit of all time. I also didn't think it was the cleanest thing of all time.
He tried to hurt the guy.
Well, I don't think you try to hurt people. I think you try to send a message in this game because they're chirping and they think they're better than you and all this stuff. And the message, obviously, on Colorado, if you watch the first half of that game, the message from Colorado State is we are going to punch them in the mouth. They were physical in that first half, Kasey. And this just took it to an extreme, which is also why it's dangerous sometimes to send those kind of messages, to be too physical in an already violent sport.
Yeah, and I think it was definitely physical. I think also you got to remember they're kids, some of them just out of high school. So, like, these things happen. I would agree that he wasn't trying to hurt him, trying to send a message. I'm with that. But also I think with Deion, and you guys pretty much said you wouldn't be surprised if there was emotion after the game and he said something that maybe he shouldn't have. Doesn't that tell you a little bit about his coaching and where he is? Like, you wouldn't have been surprised if he flew off the deep end, whatever, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And he made the right decision, and he made the mature decision. And now he's talking about it on Wednesday after he's figured out what he wants to say and all this stuff has happened. Like, Deion's got to get credit for that. If you're gonna, I'm not saying you guys were.
I don't know. I struggle to give a 50-something. Is he 50-something? 56-year-old credit for maturity, but
it sounds like you both expected not maturity.
I understand what you're saying. I didn't expect an immature response. I'm just saying I would have understood had he said that was a dirty hit. We can't play like that. I didn't expect him to go, yeah, our fans should be mad or something like that. I didn't see that coming, especially in light of finding out that there were death threats thrown the kids with.
Listen, I expected, if you watch what you're watching and just consume it, you're seeing an antagonistic Deion putting Colorado on the map, saying we're going to take the shades and sunglasses comment and turn it into this now. And I think there's some of that out there that you're like, I don't know where he's going to take this now. He just lost his best player. or one of his best players, like there's emotion involved. And I don't give a damn how old you are. I mean, you want to show me I want me to show you the baseball, softball fields and the football fields that I hear dads on Friday nights when I'm out there. And I mean, this all happens to everybody. It doesn't matter what their intentions are. You get wrapped up in the moment, the emotions. And I could have seen him totally handling this different. Now, not days later. I think Kasey brings up a great point. It's days later that you're letting it settle. And this is my point. This is why I just shared on Twitter. He's doing everything right. Like, he is really doing everything right now. And whether you like Deion or not, I think you got to respect the hell out of that. He is, from those words in this situation, which is a tough spot, to obviously everything he's done since he's arrived on campus, to, I believe what you said. I think he is all about the kids. Like, I think he understands, it's what I've said all along with Deion. He understands today's kid probably better than most college football coaches in America right now. And I think his relationship with that kid, even though he is in his mid-50s, is different than a Nick Saban relationship or other coaches that have grown up in a different era doing it their way. And now Deion's doing it his way. And that's part of the reason we're not totally sure if we should fully accept this or not. But it's working. And everything he's doing, to me, has been right. From going on 60 Minutes to be in every commercial, that's great for branding and recruiting, and everybody sees Deion everywhere, and you want to go play for Deion, and rock stars and every stars want to be at Deion's place and by his side.
Kawhi Leonard was there.
He doesn't go
even
anywhere.
show up to his own games. He played like 4 times this year. He's in college. He's in Boulder.
It really is a who's who, that sideline. But
Kawhi.
I feel like, because it's hard for you to relate to antagonistic trash talkers because you're not that. You're very far from that. That I think it's hard for you to determine or at least see that Deion's in the wrestling business when it comes to this. That there's a work and there's a shoot. Those are terms. I'm not a big wrestling fan, but I know those terms. And a work is when you're doing the whole, I'm the biggest, baddest guy in the world. And whether you mean it or not, it's for the brand. It's for the big grandioseness. So Deion with the glasses to the rest of his players because the guy said something about the glasses and the hat. That's the work. Deion being brash and having the cameras in there. That's the work. The shoot was, hey, a child got hurt in this game by another child, and everyone's acting like they're not human beings. Like, that's the shoot. That's the real deal right there. And I believe that this is just a man at some point, when you strip away the whole prime time of it.
Yeah, with a couple of kids, by the way.
Yes,
the same
with
age.
children, yeah.
In the game that this happened in.
And he kind of gets how this is like, bigger than football sometimes.
And also, again, I don't want to take away from any of the other kids on the team, but Travis Hunter is someone who was committed to Deion. And I bet Deion feels that I mean, he's been with him. He brought him to Colorado. He brought him to Jackson State.
He was one of the Gucci bags, yes.
I mean,
one of the Louis bags.
And I'm sure if any of his players, he would have reacted that way. But that's one where it's like, it feels like with all the stuff, it's right there with family.
Yeah.
I'm just really impressed with it. Like, listen, Deion, to me, to your point, the show, the rest of the stuff, I mean, he's very like McAfee to today's broadcasting. And I'm not saying like, again, you're right. I wouldn't do that. That's not my style. That's not very many people's style. That's why it's working for both of these guys that we're talking about at the moment. But I can respect the hell out of it. Like, I can see it when I see it. And I've told you guys before, 2 weeks ago on the show, I said, I don't know how I feel about the Deion stuff.
Do you know now?
Well, I know.
Just checking.
I like it coming off of this. Like, I like this. Like, I don't mind the pomp and circumstance part of it, the showy part of it, when the root of it is like this.
Did you hate the sunglasses?
No. That stuff is fine. That stuff's just, that's rivalry stuff. Like, last week, what transpired before, like, that didn't bother me at all. That should be rivalry stuff, right? I mean, if that's Auburn, Alabama, that should be some jawing back and forth. Like, that's okay. Done a little bit differently because everybody's got their eyes on Deion right now, but that's okay. Like, nothing like that. It's just like, am I going to get sick of Deion by September 30th? Was really, he's on 60 Minutes, he's on every commercial, it's Deion, 11 million viewers watching the game, it's Deion. Did Colorado State even play? They just talk about Deion the whole time, like the sideline, the show, the antics, the whatever. But there's more to it. That's my point. Like, there's style, and he certainly always had that. But much like his playing days, there is substance, even in the coaching stuff. And I think I can't find a flaw right now in Deion. The flaw is going to be next week when they get their ass kicked by Oregon because they're not that good a football team. Like, they're probably going to get beat the next 2 weeks.
I would feel bad about it, but.
Like, seriously, did you watch the game? Like, the game.
I did watch the game.
They're not that good. They're not They're okay.
They are not better than Oregon. I would agree.
So now that's my next phase on Deion is like, okay, what happens when they lose a couple in a row? What does it look like? Does everybody say, see you later? My guess is he's going to handle it very well. This kind of stuff gives me confidence that he'll handle it very well.
No, I don't think people are saying, see, I think he's actually representative of something. And I think a lot of people are jumping onto that bandwagon. And I don't think you need to be 11 or 12-0 to have that bandwagon with Deion.
But you wonder about, the reason why you wonder about this, guys, is because there are great front runners in sports. I think the term front runner often gets looked at as like a negative thing. And I don't see it like that. I think you can say that about the Jags. Like they're going to be a good front runner this year. Once they get out in front of people, then they can really do some damage. I think Trevor is that. Trevor knows how to lead from success. Some people don't. Some people don't know how to build off success. They're just like get complacent, or this is good enough, or what do we do with the targets on us? I think this team in Jacksonville is going to be very good as a front runner once they get this offense kicking. Deion, you're never so sure because he had so much success. He was a great front runner to me. And now as a coach right now, he's been a front runner since the get-go in Boulder. What does it look like when he gets punched in the gut a couple of times, right? And they don't look like the best thing going in college sports because there are some better football teams than them. They haven't experienced that yet. I think that's kind of the next thing for us all to see.
They rebound. They get stronger.
Maybe.
And they beat the holy heck out of whoever they play after USC.
Well, it's Arizona State, who's terrible.
They will destroy them. It's free money. I don't know what the spread is. Nobody does. It's free money.
But they should beat them, right? Probably. Or you'd think they should or could, or with everything going on. That will be a test if they do lose these next two games. Maybe they win one of them, or I don't think they win both of them. I just don't think they're good enough to do that. But
and as long as they don't get blown out in the next two, which maybe they will. Maybe USC blows them out, but USC's really good. They're trending towards losing a game. It started hot. They beat a team they shouldn't have. They blew out a team in Nebraska, and then they barely escaped against Colorado State that is not better than them. So they're somewhat due to lose a game because they're not a great team.
Yeah.
So if you lose to teams you're not supposed to beat, it's not as bad as losing to like an Arizona State. So maybe if they do lose a couple or one of the two, then they rebound after that and just beat the holy heck out of a couple.
Well, they still have got 4 more ranked games even after they get past USC.
Yeah.
So if you believe that, then you believe this team's only going to win like 4 or 5 games.
They'll win one of the ranked game, another one of the ranked games.
I'll tell you something. Like ESPN takes a lot of heat for all the stuff, which and some of it they should. Like I mean, we comment about whatever their salaries or who they're letting go, or the economics of it now are so different. The dynamic of it, but I'm telling you what, they still find them, and they know what to do when they get them, and they are all over Deion. They're at College Game Day, and they're on the network, and it's like the 5th most watched thing. Like, they know what a story is, and they know when to piggyback onto something. And McAfee, they're doing the same thing with him right now. I mean, you can ridicule and kill ESPN for as much as you want, and I know we have, like, ESPN 690, but we don't get paid from there. None of us get paid by ESPN, okay? We're affiliated. But it's just, they know how to find the genius in these guys.
Yeah.
They found us.
Very good. Very good. No, they did not.
They didn't find me.
We forced ourselves on them.
That's literally what happened.
Pause. We did not do that.
We did.
Want to confirm.
But it is pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's astonishing. It's like, it's a phenomenon.
Yeah, they can find the phenomena. That's kind of a good way to put it, right?
Phenomena?
Phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
When does it die? Like, how long is this live? How long is the Deion Sanders phenomenon last?
Thank you.
I think, and it's going to be a weird comparison. But you know how, like, some college coaches are known for their thing, whether it's the Jerry Tarkanian with the towel or I keep forgetting her name. Casey, help me out. The shiny suit lady in college basketball.
Kim Mulkey.
Yes, Kim Mulkey. Maybe for Deion, it's just the primetime nature of it all. Yeah. It'll always be him like that.
It won't go away, and if it gets stale in Colorado, he'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's
and it'll be a story all over
I'll tell you
again.
where it's not going to be the NFL, or at least that's what he told Rich Eisen last week.
You know what resonates on my ears? He keeps saying, or the reporters keep saying, Coach Prime. Coach Prime.
It worked.
Is he Deion? Is it Deion Sanders?
No, I like
it's
Coach Prime.
Coach Prime.
I like that.
Remember when that wasn't a thing at first? When he didn't want to be Coach Prime for like a week, and then he was
now
like,
it's a
never mind.
brand. He sounds like a transformer.
He is. Yeah, he's got that dude knows branding. I'll give him that. Brent Friends on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly clear skies this evening. Pretty nice. Temperatures falling from the 80s into the 70s and dry. Overnight down to the mid to upper 60s. Partly sunny, turning breezy with a few showers, especially closer to the coast on Wednesday. Highs in the mid 80s. From the Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop and compare and save thousands at Beards Diamonds.
Car Bravo is here at Nimnik Buick GMC, a better way to shop used vehicles with transparent pricing. Nimnik Buick GMC is the only Car Bravo dealer in Northeast Florida. And with Car Bravo, it doesn't matter what used vehicle you're looking for because they certify all makes and models. And for a limited time, save an additional $500 when you purchase a Car Bravo certified vehicle at Nimnik Buick GMC. It's a win-win. You always win at Nimnik Buick GMC. Experience Used-phoria with Car Bravo online at NimnikBuickGMC.com or visit the showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Hey y'all, this is Ronte, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is the pimento cheese. I was like, go cheese, go pimento, go honey, go get it.
Hi, this is Chantrice, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is the mild spiciness of the pickled jalapenos. No, it's the crispy chicken. Actually, I can't decide. It's the entire sandwich.
Order the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine are paying out over $640,000 this month in poker promotions. There will be exciting high-hand specials and no-limit hold'em tournaments all month. Catch Insta Paydays and game day promos at St. Augustine, $300 early bird specials at Orange Park, $500 Fridays at Jacksonville, and much more. Enjoy the best in poker and card games at Best Bet. For more information, visit bestbetjacks.com.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Tune into our high-energy, multi-platform show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690 in a variety of video streaming platforms as well. As the seasons change, so do the sports topics. It's football season now, and we're bringing you all things sports weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. And you can tailgate with us at the Duval House for every Sunday home game this football season. Fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. Live fit.
What? They did not tell me they were going to do that. I need a new bank.
Well, actually, One-to-One Financial doesn't do the usual bank surprises because we're not a bank. We're a credit union. And that means lower loan interest, things like free checking and member rewards, and of course, total investment back into our community.
I'm sold.
Find a better way to bank than big banks with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit 121fcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
It's fantasy football like you've never played it before. You love fantasy football, right? Of course you do. Do you like competing? Yeah. You like winning? Absolutely. It's Fantasy Card Breaks with Davoli's House of Cards. You don't know your team until you open the pack of cards. There's curiosity, competition, and collecting prizes. Visit Davoli's House of Cards off 210 in St. Johns County, or just visit fantasycardbreaks.com. Fantasy football like you've never played it before with Davoli's House of Cards. fantasycardbreaks.com.
At the Home Depot, Saturdays are about two things: getting projects done right with Behr Premium Plus interior paint
And football.
That's right, Kirk Herbstreit. And with Behr's wall-to-wall coverage and long-lasting durable finish, you'll spend less time worrying about your walls,
Which means more time for football.
for football. Upgrade your Saturday with Behr and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My check engine light's on?
That could hurt your gas mileage. The AutoZone free Fix Finder service can help find the fix for free.
Get in the zone. This whole report for free?
That's right, printed and on your phone for free.
Get in the zone. But what if the fix is too tough?
We'll recommend a local shop. Fix Finder, only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
You don't even like your quarterback.
Kasey Kuhrts.
You don't even like your team.
And Aaron Schachter.
I don't even like myself, guys. Do you know me?
On Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Welcome back, Football at 5. Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Don't forget to swoop with the Ospreys. UNFOspreys.com, the place to go for all the fall news and results and schedules. Check out an event on campus and also basketball, men's and women's tickets just around the corner. Before you know it, college basketball season is going to be here. So get your season tickets for UNF Ospreys basketball at UNFOspreys.com. Brent, Aaron, Kasey, Football at 5, Twitter, X's. Get your wallet out. Time to pay for it.
That's wild. Are you paying for it?
I didn't digest though. I was doing something else, so I saw the headline.
I don't think he's released a number yet.
He has not.
Okay.
I'll pay.
How much? Where's your limit? 3 a month?
I pay 3.
5 a month?
I pay 5.
Wow. 10 a month.
Not a chance.
Because that's like streaming cost.
I'm out at 10.
5 a month still for Twitter? I mean,
I'm in at 5.
$60, I guess. You just throw a $60 annual at it, or maybe you give them a couple of % off and $50 annual. But the principle of the matter, having to pay for Twitter, seems like.
Yes, but
Let's just go to Threads.
I'd be on Twitter.
Me too, but you'll be
I'm
on
there.
Threads. There'll be other places.
Threads sucks. I'm not going to Threads.
Because no one's there. But
I'm
if
not
they got
going.
there.
I'm not going to Threads.
Like, in one respect, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't thought about it enough to. I go back and forth. I'm like thinking Netflix and those. We all do that, like, no problem. And so I guess I see where he's coming from. But at the same time, like, it's like a free speech app.
Well, it's like
you shouldn't have to pay for that.
Yes.
You know, now if you want to go slander people or do anything else, like paying for that, but for just be able to say what you want to say and interact with people, I don't know if you should be paying for that. It doesn't seem
people paying to be bullied.
In the article, Elon talks about the reason he's doing it. He claims is because he's having a hard time figuring out a good way to get rid of the bots. And so he figures if you've got to register a credit card for every single account, some of these troll farms with 15,000 Twitter accounts aren't going to do that. But I'm sitting here going,
a little bit.
I'm sitting here going, if like Russia or China is running state-sponsored troll farm, they got no problem paying for it.
Yeah, true.
They're not going to throw $60 at Elon per account. They would do it in a heartbeat just to be there. So I don't know if that works, but I do think it will work to a degree. So fine. But I think there are easier ways to get rid of the bot accounts, such as personal identification. Look, you can't have a cryptocurrency account on Coinbase without showing them your license in the app.
True.
So, like, how come you can't register to get verified on an app like Twitter? Why gatekeep the verification through your subscription service when you could have gotten rid of the bots by verifying people? Verify everybody. Everyone should just be, there should be no more anonymity on Twitter, because that's where all the vitriol comes from. All these Twitter tough guys talking to certain people in a way that they wouldn't talk to them in real life. But if you had to put your name and face to it, would you be saying some of that stuff? Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
Then I wouldn't pay for it, because the entertainment is people saying wild things on Twitter.
Yeah, it is kind of fun. I mean,
that's why I'm there.
I chuckle a few times a day, watching it. You know,
it's just provide entertainment.
And I don't visit TikTok like that. Some other people do that for TikTok.
So if that part goes away,
yeah,
it provides entertainment. So I'm okay with providing entertainment, but then the other part of it is this free speech argument, right? First, it was Elon was upset that this free speech platform was censoring people. Specifically, he was referring to politics and COVID stuff. But ultimately, when you say, if you're a Twitter Blue member, or what is it, Premium X is what it's called now. If you're a Premium X member, now your posts get seen first. You get more viewage. Well, that's not necessarily free speech, but okay.
That's basically advertising.
But now it's like you can't talk unless you pay. Well, now it's really not free speech.
Is that how that works? If I just pay, I'll get more traction?
If you are Premium X, you get seen higher up in the thread.
Get out of here.
For real.
I think one of the issues right now is Twitter has been big. Why hasn't anybody else come up with an alternative to it?
They did.
Well, I know the Threads thing.
It's not just Threads, though. Mastodon was another one of there were a few of
Mastodon.
Yeah.
I have never at any point in time heard
it's
of
more
Mastodon.
of an industry thing, and I forget which is one of the industries is big with Mastodon. But when Twitter started going through their first issues, people started posting that Mastodon was the place to go. And then Elon started suspending those accounts immediately.
I miss that.
Yeah.
Like when you have a streaming service like for TV, like we got multiple of them, right? There's all these different places to go. Like isn't it kind of amazing that the Facebooks of the world don't have a competitor? Twitter doesn't have a competitor.
Threads.
Well, some would argue that it's legal monopolies and they're being dragged into Congress to defend them right now.
Yeah.
Isn't a mastodon a dinosaur?
It was.
Okay.
All right. Well, that being said, we're not paying yet, so let's get to some X's.
But you know who is? Adam Schachter. Bang. Hit the tweet, Aaron. Blue
Adam
check mark.
Well, you don't even know if he's paying.
There's a blue check mark.
All right, but he could have been grandfathered in by that ESPN stuff. That's what Brent was trying to get on.
But Brent wasn't grandfathered in.
No, he's not important enough. Bet you Bachman would have been.
Over $35K now, though.
Ooh. He is, actually.
Nice.
I saw it go up. Who is following this dude? Like, I'm just being serious. Like, what are y'all doing? Come on.
Come on, man. You said he wanted entertainment.
I love that.
Yeah, it's not from you, buddy. 35K.
Adam Schefter talking about Nick Chubb's injury last night. This tweet was from last night, but I just picked it because it really underlines what we were talking about to open the show here. Nick Chubb dislocated back in 2015, dislocated his left knee, tore his MCL, tore his PCL, tore his LCL, had cartilage damage. He injured the same knee last night. This guy has arguably been one of the top, if not the top back in the NFL the last couple of years. Still essentially on a rookie contract. Hasn't really made the bag in the NFL. Has certainly earned it. And now may never, ever again.
It's gruesome, too. Like, that's the thing. We saw tweet X, whatever, with the side-by-side from 2015 to 23. It's gross.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really gross. Like, your leg should not do that. And I still can't get over how much, like, he didn't even look like he was in that much pain when he was on the field.
He's built different.
Tried to get up.
That sucks. I mean, it's just, again, it goes back. We've been talking about this for months, but we really started talking about it today again. It's a tough position.
Is it fair if Nick Chubb never gets paid in his entire NFL career?
Doesn't seem it.
No, that's not fair.
So what would you say, like, does Spotrac do the career earnings?
Yeah,Ll go pull it up.
I got it. You go to the next X.
I was just going to say Nick Chubb, this is his numbers from 2018 through 23. Career numbers. He's got 6,000 yards. He rushed for 1,494 in 2019. 1,020 with a couple of injury games. 1,259 in 21. 1,525 in 22.
And the craziest part about that, the only reason I noticed is I looked up this morning, 5.3 a carry.
Yeah, career.
A career, 5.3 a carry.
Yeah, he's been excellent.
Just give it to him twice, you're moving the chains.
He made pretty good money. His last deal was like 3 years, $36 million.
And when did he sign that?
How much? Yeah.
Because he was a rookie in 18, so I would assume the extension came in 21.
He signed 3-year, $36 million with Browns, including $12 million signing bonus, $20 million guaranteed. In 23, we'll earn a base salary of 10. So, no, this isn't telling me when. So, he must have done it like in 20.
And are the guarantees injury protected? Because I would bet they're not. Not for a running back.
I don't know how that works. That's a good question. I would think when I say guaranteed, I think it's guaranteed.
They have it out after next year.
Well, one thing
But the bottom line is he's made decent money. Like it's
based
not
on
just
what you think is decent. Certainly not relative to the league and the work he's put in.
No.
Top of the market money?
But $12 million a year for a running back actually is like pretty high value.
Career earnings of $34 million.
For the best running back in the sport.
Okay, my point being is he plays he plays a position where this can happen.
I get all of that.
This isn't James Robinson.
I'm just saying it's unfair. That's all I'm saying. It's unfair.
I'm not feeling bad for his pocketbook as much as I'm feeling bad for his knee today.
What was it, 1,500 yards last year?
And by the way, let's not pretend like these guys can go out and now get a job as an executive somewhere. Like, you really do have to have another skill if you're a running back in the NFL.
Yes. Yes.
You have
Well, if you're a
40
football
more
player.
years in the workforce.
Well, if you're very good, I mean, there's a lot of different ways these guys can accumulate money, from autograph signings to speaking to other things, that avenues that get opened up because of their performance.
Sure.
That aren't available to a lot of people.
So Nick Chubb, hypothetically, and I'm not saying this is the way it's going to go down, and I'm not saying I want to see it happen, but hypothetically, let's say Nick Chubb is not able to play on that knee again, or it's not the same.
Yep.
So he essentially, you're saying, will do signings for the next 40 years based on a 5-year career. Like, I don't see it. He's not a legend. He can't carry it.
Didn't he lead the league in rushing like twice?
I mean, he might have come close, but I would bet Derrick Henry beat him out.
Here's a little bit of the difference, too, with him. And I wonder if he feels this way. I'm not trying to think like him or feel for him, but this was a guy that had his knee blown out so badly in 2015 that I probably wondered if he would ever play football or play in the NFL at that point.
For real.
And then he went on to make
$35
million. And even if he doesn't play again, wouldn't you be like, you know what? At least I had a chance to make $35 million. So I guess it depends how you look at it. And money-wise, $35 million, you can make that work for a long time. It's $4 million, that's a different story.
You can make $35 million work for a long time if you know what you're doing and no one's out there ripping you off. But if you're someone who never had money, who didn't come from money, and then when you got it, wanted to reward all the people who rode with you, like your family and friends, chances are $34 million ain't lasting.
I get it, but I would say
if you're number one in the league and you're like, this is going to be forever for me.
Listen, if you don't know what to do with $35 million, the answer is not to get more money.
Well, the answer is to grow and learn.
I guess. You'd have to make some pretty damn big mistakes, though, and I'm not sure you learn enough.
I feel like we hear about those mistakes all the time. But the Browns are out there now looking for what's next, right? And that's where Dove's tweet comes from. Here's the report from today. The Browns are looking into signing Kareem Hunt, who they basically told to kick rocks.
He's already in the building, I think.
They're either that or trading for Cam Akers from the Rams in order to replace Nick Chubb. That's according to Mary Kay Cabot. Browns are happy with the backup running back Jerome Ford, who everyone today is trying to pick off of waiver wire.
Ain't that right, Brent?
Rushed for 106 yards against the Steelers.
How do you claim someone on waivers?
You go to Amazon Prime.
Ty was asking.
The Browns are one of 4 NFL
Shout out
teams
Ty.
to show trade interest in Akers, by the way. Lots of people looking at Cam Akers.
What do you do?
What do you do if you're the Browns?
I go get Kareem Hunt.
He can play today. He
familiar
knows the
with
playbook.
I don't understand the allure of Cam Akers. It feels like it's been a soap opera around him for a year and a half.
And he really hasn't delivered.
Yeah, those are the two options, I guess. Kareem Hunt, but there's like a whole Leonard Fournette.
I was going to say, is Leonard Fournette like hang gliding in Italy or something? Where is this guy?
I was thinking of that the other day. I was like, why hasn't he been signed? Like, I haven't read stories. Is there something out there why Leonard Fournette hasn't been signed?
I haven't seen anything. Not even an article as to why he thinks he has. Like when Jan wasn't signed, there was articles about asking Jan why Jan thinks he hasn't been signed. You have not seen that on Leonard Fournette.
I was like, I don't know.
What do you think?
I don't know.
On Fournette?
Yeah.
You got like 3 or 4 teams who are like desperate to figure out running back right now. The Colts, you got the Bills, although James Cook looks like the real deal. The Dolphins for sure. I mean, Raheem Mostert is good, but he's the guy there. You need more help there.
I don't know if they need anything, quite frankly, on offense.
I think that is a mistake by the Dolphins if they don't fix that running back situation before it becomes time to like play for the playoffs.
It is a mystery to me. I thought about the other day. I don't understand the Fournette stuff. Like,
Maybe he's content.
Is he slow?
Maybe he's slow. I would say maybe he's content. Super Bowl.
Yeah, but if he was content, Kasey, wouldn't he just retire?
What's the point? I mean, there's a difference between retiring and like, hey, I'm going to chill, play some Xbox, and if somebody calls, I'll go.
I will say once when I saw J.J. Watt say he was retired and someone was like, you got to do paperwork, and he's like, I'm not doing all that. Then I was like, you know what? I kind of can relate to these guys going, just saying they're retired.
But not doing it.
And just letting them figure it out.
Yeah.
It's like when a part-timer quits, and it's like, I'm not going to officially quit. Just leave me on the books, and like if I come back, I come back. Otherwise, stop paying me.
There you go.
Yeah, I get that.
We mentioned Cam Akers already. Here are some sources. Several teams, according to Jordan Schultz, several teams have checked in with the Rams about a potential Cam Akers trade. We talked about the Browns. Ravens, also another one. They lost a running back to an Achilles tear. The Buccaneers are another one, Kasey. We were talking about their running back situation yesterday.
Yeah.
The Raiders are one of them. Josh Jacobs all alone back there. Multiple teams. It's still possible Akers gets released, by the way, for salary reasons, but the team's actively shopping him, and he's more than likely played his last game for Los Angeles. Akers with 3 consecutive 100-yard rushing games and 3 TDs to close out last season, by the way.
Yeah, Akers been a mystery to me, the whole thing. I'm not even sure if he's that good.
I mean, clearly, Kyron Williams has stepped in and scored like 4 times in 2 days.
Here's what I don't understand about the Cam Akers thing. And, so Sean McVay's talking about Cam Akers basically being done in L.A. But he made sure to say, even though last year he sent Akers away while he actively tried to ship him, he told Akers to go away from the building and he would find a trade. He never did. They brought Akers back. They're saying this isn't the same deal. So I was like, how is this any different? You all right?
Nope.
Marching band coming through.
All right. I just don't understand how it's not the same deal. Like, it seems like the same exact thing. If Sean McVay is going to say, look, I got a problem with Cam Akers, we're going to ship him, why not say, yeah, it's the same thing that happened last season. We tried to make it work. It didn't work.
The Rams have some goofy stuff going on.
Goofy stuff.
I mean, Stetson Bennett stuff, right? I mean, they end up getting rid of Ramsey. I don't know. I don't know if it's just coincidence or if there's something up within the Rams organization. What else you got? Give me one more.
How about Justin Fields? We were talking about the Bears the other day. You had him picked early on before the season started. The Bears, that is, to, I believe, win the North, if I remember correctly. We were talking also about their offensive coordinator.
If you remember correctly.
Yesterday. I'm just saying, if you remember correctly.
Man of the year.
Justin Fields has just 2 total designed runs this season for 1 yard. In his final 9 games of last season, Field had 31 designed runs, 3.4 a game for 310 yards, 34 yards a game. What is Luke Getsy doing out in Chicago with Justin Fields?
Yeah, it seems a little messy out there. I'm not sure the Eberflus thing is working. I'm not sure anything they're trying to do in Chicago is working. And
offensive line horribly graded, by the way.
Still can't figure out offense in the city of Chicago.
Are they a cursed franchise like the Jets?
I'm not all the way out on Fields yet, but it's certainly not trending in a good direction as we discussed yesterday. I was a big fan coming in. So we'll see what happens.
I'll pay for X. I don't care what it costs. The video I just saw, I do not care.
What'd you see?
I can't tell you.
I want to know.
I can't tell you. We got to go to break.
You just said something else.
It's just me and you, buddy. No one else is here. Come on.
We'll have that coming up. Hey, I want to tell you at the Nimnick family of dealerships, I understand there are recent concerns about the recent United Auto Workers strike. I want to assure you that this will not impact your ability to purchase vehicles from Nimnick Buick GMC, and they have the strongest inventory levels in years. Of course, best price guarantee still in effect at Nimnick that always is. Consistently priced at or below MSRP, including some of the most sought-after models. They'll continue to do that and make it affordable for all the customers here in Jacksonville. Just go check out NimnickBuickGMC.com. Off Phillips Highway, GMC. We are professional grade.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
Catch Florida State football on Jacksonville's home for ESPN 690. Saturday, the Seminoles travel to Death Valley to take on the Clemson Tigers. Our coverage starts Saturday morning at 9:30 with the Florida State Tailgate Show. Then Jeff Colhane, William Floyd, and Tom Block have the call from Death Valley of Knowles Tigers. Kickoff at 12 noon Saturday. Florida State football is powered by Bass Professional Realty, Bono's Pit Barbecue, and Willie Jewell's Barbecue.
Are you a real estate investor or have considered investing and want to know where you can put your money that offers solid returns and protects against market volatility? It's Rich Jones. I want to introduce you to DLP Capital, CEO and founder Don Wenner.
For more than a decade, DLP Capital has delighted our investors with consistent double-digit returns. Through the smart, conservative real estate investment strategy our company is built on, we have been able to achieve this with monthly distributions and tax shelters so our investors can keep more of their returns.
Dial ** invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it. Have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211. It's fantasy football like you've never played it before. You love fantasy football, right? Of course you do. Do you like competing? Yeah. You like winning? Absolutely. It's Fantasy Card Breaks with Davoli's House of Cards. You don't know your team until you open the pack of cards. There's curiosity, competition, and collecting prizes. Visit Davoli's House of Cards off 210 in St. Johns County or just visit fantasycardbreaks.com. Fantasy football like you've never played it before with Davoli's House of Cards. fantasycardbreaks.com.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Experience wins when buying or selling your home. Changing markets and rates make for challenging times these days. Bass Professional Realty can guide you through those times and open the door to a new home or lock the door on your old home one final time. With a good experience thanks to their experience. Bass Professional Realty has been serving Northeast Florida this entire century. Last year, Nancy Bass and Bass Professional Realty were voted a top real estate firm in Jacksonville. Have a good home selling or buying experience with the experienced team of Bass Professional Realty.
Jacksonville is a great place to live. And if you love where you live, you should invest in it. That's why more and more people bank with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. We invest every penny back into North Florida, backing the very best small businesses, nonprofits, and of course the family home. Why put your money with some big out-of-state bank when you can invest in where you love to live? One-to-One Financial, we're your hometown credit union. Sign up today at one-to-one-fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690. Oh, I got something. Florio's at it again. From Pro Football Talk. Spinning the Jag Stadium stuff.
You don't like this headline?
Yeah, is anybody going to click on the last part of the article? No. Read the whole article. Hold on, I'm tweeting first about it.
Oh, sure, we'll wait. No, it's we'll wait.
I'll start with the head. The headline from Pro Football Talk was Jacksonville residents aren't interested in paying for renovations to the stadium.
Ooh.
The tweet that had the article in it from Pro Football Talk and Florio was a new poll shows that only 6% of Jacksonville residents want to kick in $1 billion for renovations. 47% don't want it, even if it means losing the team to another city. Brent, the floor is yours.
Okay, so the 6 is highlighted in the capital letters. 6% said the city should devote $1 billion in public money. This is a poll that came from UNF. And you always wonder,
shout out Osprey.
This is always the thing that gets me. It used to be this way in our business when it came to sports. It's like, hey, nobody, when people research TV station stuff, nobody mentions the sports. They mention news and weather. It's like, okay, how many questions do you ask about sports? None. Oh, great. Thanks for asking. It's like, well, you didn't even ask. Right? Well, This is the same type of thing. Do you want to spend $1 billion? Of course not. Nobody wants to spend $1 billion. So if you go a little deeper, selling the stadium to the team and letting the team pay for the renovations itself received support from 51% of those who responded. Okay, that was interesting. Sell the stadium to the team.
Yeah.
And then doing it. Roughly a third supports spending up to $500 million. So now it shifts from 6% to 33% if you go from $1 billion to $500,000.
Right. $500 million.
I'm sorry, to $500 million, yes. 47% said no to spending $1 billion, even if it means losing the team. Okay, to $1 billion. What about $750? Do we have $750? Like, it's just like so spin-oriented. And I understand, like, the $1 billion is what's out there right now. But that's also why we know there's going to be a negotiation between the city and the team.
Yeah, that's why it's a non-story.
This is represented as like it's $1 billion, take it or leave it.
Right.
So don't get stuck by the headline here, is my point. Roughly 46% said the city should spend the $1 billion if the alternative is to renovate. Alternative to renovation is relocation. So half of the people said if it's relocation, then spend the $1 billion. Don't bury all the leads there.
No.
Just tell the whole story. 6%.
Does it even matter? Does it matter what the people think? Like, you want support, but ultimately, does it matter?
Listen, I know this is, I've said this before. We know it's going to be a negotiation. Like, yeah, the city's going to try to get what they can do to the best for taxpayers. The ownership of the team is going to try to do what's best for keeping the team here, but also what's best for them. That's how negotiations begin and start and work. And we'll see where it falls and how long it takes and how ugly it gets. And I don't think it's just going to be a seamless thing. We know that, but this is a dumb headline. There are actually a lot of different numbers in there that are kind of interesting.
Yeah, Mike
to see where people
Florio
would go. That's it. Overtime with Kuhrts and Middleton up next.
Not even a little bit.
No?
Nope.
We don't have an overtime today, but we have Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
And the FSU Coaches Show. That was the marching band you heard.
Oh, thanks for getting that ready. Teed it up. Inside Seminoles football coming up next on ESPN 690.
Best Bet is number one. That's right. Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park have one card poker, the fastest and easiest card game to learn and play. Play against a designated player, one card at a time, and the highest card wins even money. If the card values are the same, it's time for war. Just like the game you remember. You must be 18 years or older to play. More at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Car Bravo is here at Nimnik Buick GMC, a better way to shop used vehicles with transparent pricing. Nimnik Buick GMC is the only Car Bravo dealer in Northeast Florida. And with Car Bravo, it doesn't matter what used vehicle you're looking for because they certify all makes and models. And for a limited time, save an additional $500 when you purchase a Car Bravo certified vehicle at Nimnik Buick GMC. It's a win-win. You always win at Nimnik Buick GMC. Experience Usephoria with Car Bravo online at NimnikBuickGMC.com or visit the showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC. We are professional grade.
This is Ortho Health Insights. Tips for life in motion brought to you by the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. You are never too old or too young to begin improving your orthopedic health. Most people experience pain in or around their feet or ankles at some point in their lives. Walking, hiking, stretching, body weight lifting, and yoga can help keep your feet and ankles strong. Pay attention to your shoes. Whether you're taking a long walk or a quick trip to the grocery store, make sure you wear shoes that fit well and have good support and cushioning. If you're experiencing foot or ankle pain that seems to be getting worse, the orthopedic physicians at JOI are experienced in diagnosing the cause and treating your pain. Whether you need a course of physical therapy or surgery, JOI can help. Call 904-JOI-2000. That's 904-JOI-2000 or go to JOI.net. JOI is the official sports medicine provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Two roads diverged into a steamy, hot Northeast Florida summer. One road led to a home AC system that's unreliable and inefficient. It was fated to fail swiftly. The other road led to a home that's efficiently and dependably cool. Its AC